Chapter 1857. At that moment, Yi Xian ordered the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon to start fusing with the World Destroyer Dragon Scales. The World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon fusing with the World Destroyer Dragon Scales was a little slow in the beginning. However, after a few thousand of them were fused, the speed increased. In just a few moments, all 5,000 World Destroyer Dragon Scales had been fused. At this point, he had already obtained a fourfold increase in strength and had entered the 5th stage. The 5th stage required 100 World Destroyer Dragon Scales to increase his strength by 1 point. In other words, he needed 10,000 World Destroyer Dragon Scales. Yi Xian was unable to obtain so many for the time being. That night. Brother, after that guy was taken away, they didn't bother with him. He must have lied about his strength. Why don't we do it tonight? Jiang Xingwen said to Jiang Xingjuan. I think so. Jiang Xingjuan nodded and decided to do it. With his status in the Bloodfire Hall, it was easy for him to take someone away. Moreover, he wasn't going to kill Yi Xian. He was just going to take him away. Thinking of this, Jiang Xingjuan arrived outside Yi Xian's residence. Knock, knock, knock. Hearing the sound, Yi Xian paused. In fact, he had already sensed Jiang Xingjuan's aura. This guy is here again. Yi Xian thought to himself. However, he still went to open the door. Kid, we're just borrowing your black dragon. It's not like we want to kill you. I only need 1 day and I'll give you 10 World Destroyer Dragon Scales. What do you think? Jiang Xingjuan asked. If Yi Xian hadn't brought back Jiabui Yuan's corpse, he would have used force. Sorry, I don't need these 10 World Destroyer Dragon Scales. Yi Xian rejected directly. 10 World Destroyer Dragon Scales? Did he think he was a beggar? If he wanted to use the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon, he would need at least 10,000. You're courting death. Jiang Xingjuan's eyes flashed with killing intent. A mere half-step true lord dared to reject him time and time again. This was a challenge to his authority. Since that was the case, he was going to do it for real. Slap. Jiang Xingjuan slapped Yi Xian's shoulder. That strong hand made Yi Xian unable to move. Fine, then I'll go with you. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. Actually, he wasn't afraid of Jiang Xingjuan. He just found him annoying. Why don't we settle this once and for all? At that moment, Yi Xian left with Jiang Xingjuan. Jiang Xingjuan secretly took Yi Xian out of the Bloodfire Hall and found Jiang Xingwen. Jiang Xingwen's eyes lit up when she saw Yi Xian. Where's that black dragon of yours? Do what? Yi Xian asked. I'm going to F***ck it, not you. Why are you in such a hurry? Jiang Xingwen's expression turned cold. She was thinking that if she was forced into a corner, she would directly chop up Yi Xian's penis. At this moment, the corners of Yi Xian's mouth suddenly curled up as he said, Haha, do you know why I'm here this time? Didn't they compromise? Jiang Xingwen narrowed her eyes. Of course not. Yi Xian shook his head. Then, the World Devastator Ghostly Dragon appeared beside him. Jiang Xingwen's expression changed when she saw this. Yi Xian said no, but he summoned the World Devastator Ghostly Dragon. What was he trying to do? Even Jiang Xingjuan didn't know. But in the next moment they knew. World Devastator Ghostly Dragon, merge. Instantly, Yi Xian merged with the World Devastator Ghostly Dragon's body like a spirit. Then, his aura skyrocketed. What? Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen were shocked. Their cultivation levels were much higher than Yi Xian's, but they couldn't see how Yi Xian did it. I've come with you today to get rid of you. Dai! Yi Xian's eyes widened. He reached out his claws and grabbed Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen. The 5 slaughter seals had already been activated. 1 seal could increase one's strength by 8 times. 5 seals would increase one's strength by 9 times. In addition to the undying fighting souls 3 times, it would increase one's strength by 12 times. Poof! Crack! Following 2 sounds, Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen's bodies exploded, and they died on the spot. Jiang Xingwen, 1st stage True Monarch. Jiang Xingjuan, 3rd stage True Monarch. However, they were killed by Yi Xian, a 7th stage True Monarch. One had to know that they had crossed more than a dozen realms. You overestimate yourselves. Yi Xian snorted and put away the 2 corpses and the interspatial rings. There were still 1,000 World Devastator dragon scales in the interspatial rings of the two siblings. It was not bad. Then, Yi Xian quickly disintegrated and broke through the void to return to the Bloodfire Hall. The problem was solved. However, Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen were the grandson and granddaughter of the Bloodfire Hall's guardian elder. Moreover, the guards had seen him and Jiang Xingjuan leaving the Bloodfire Hall together. When the time came, they would definitely ask. As expected, not long after Yi Xian returned, someone immediately arrived at his residence. No, it should be said that they trespassed and directly came to Yi Xian. "You are Yi Xian?" A middle-aged man asked Yi Xian. Yi Xian sensed and found that the other party was at least a high-level true monarch. He hurriedly nodded and said, "Yi Xian greets Senior. Did you and my son, Jiang Xingjuan, leave the Bloodfire Hall together?" The middle-aged man asked. This middle-aged man was Jiang Xingjuan's father, an ordinary elder of the Bloodfire Hall, Jiang Yang. "Senior, I did not." Yi Xian directly shook his head. "Nonsense," Jiang Yang said with a cold expression. "I just asked around. The guard said that you and Jiang Xingjuan left the Bloodfire Hall together. You still want to quibble?" In fact, when the other party came, Yi Xian already knew that the Jiang family should have known about Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen's deaths. After all, there was something called the life tablet. If Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen died, then the life tablet would shatter. That was why the Jiang family knew about it. After asking around, they would quickly find out. "Then, Senior, can you find that person and confront him?" Yi Xian asked. "Confront what? How did Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen die? Speak." Jiang Yang opened his eyes wide. He looked as though he wanted to skin Yi Xian alive and drink his blood. At this time, a gust of wind suddenly blew in the room. Yi Xian looked carefully and found that it was Jia Yuanjing who had hurried over. "Elder Jiang, why have you come to the room of a junior so late at night?" Jia Yuanjing narrowed his eyes and said, "Humph. This brat left the Bloodfire Hall together with Jiang Xingjuan. Then, Jiang Xingjuan's life tablet shattered. I suspect that he set a trap and killed my son." Jiang Yang said. Yi Xian was only a rank 7 true monarch. His strength was extremely low. Thus, it was impossible for him to have killed Jiang Xingjuan. The reason why Jia Yuanjing came over was that he had heard about Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen's deaths. Moreover, he knew that Yi Xian had the strength to kill a rank 3 true monarch. Thus, after hearing this, he couldn't help but feel suspicious. Chapter 1858. I heard that this brat had a conflict with my son and daughter before he entered the Bloodfire Hall. Jiang Yang said sternly. It was just a small conflict. I heard about it too, but it wasn't to the extent of killing. Besides, how did he know a perfected lord expert? Jia Yuanjing continued to defend Yi Xian. Jiang Yang couldn't help but look at Jia Yuanjing. Yi Xian didn't know him, but what about Jia Yuanjing? Could this be a scheme by Jia Xingtian and Jia Yuanjing? Jia Buiyuan was dead, so Jia Xingtian and Jia Yuanjing were targeting Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen? Jiang Yang felt that something was amiss. Yi Xian was just a lowly disciple of the Bloodfire Hall. Was there a need for Jia Yuanjing to personally defend Yi Xian? Something was wrong. However, he didn't think that the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon was too talented. Instead, he thought that this was a scheme by Jia Yuanjing or Jia Xingtian. I won't waste time. I'm going to search his soul. Then the truth will be revealed. Jiang Yang stepped forward and prepared to search Yi Xian's soul. Seeing this, Jia Yuanjing naturally stood in front of Yi Xian. Elder Jia, could this be your doing? Jiang Yang's eyes widened as he asked sternly. Elder Jiang, don't slander me. You can't blame your son's death on me. Jia Yuanjing glanced at Yi Xian and said, Why don't we ask the Hall Master for justice? Hall Master? Jiang Yang nodded immediately. Okay. The Hall Master would definitely investigate thoroughly once he found out that his son and daughter had died. Then the truth would be revealed. However, what he didn't know was that Jia Yuanjing and Yi Xian had already communicated privately. Yi Xian was blunt about killing Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen. Moreover, Jia Xingtian had already reported Yi Xian's matter to the Hall Master. The Hall Master would definitely suppress this matter for Yi Xian's sake. Jiang Yang, Jia Yuanjing, and Yi Xian immediately went to look for the Hall Master of the Bloodflame Hall. The Hall Master of the Bloodflame Hall, Hua Ming, was a rank 9 true monarch. Furthermore, he had fused with nearly 600 world destruction dragon scales. At that moment, there were two figures beside Hua Ming. They were Jia Xingtian and Jiang Yang's father, Jiang Tai. What the hell is going on? Hua Ming asked as soon as he saw everyone. Hallmaster, it's like this. Tonight, my son and this brat left the Blood Flame Hall together. After that, my son and daughter's life tablets shattered. I suspect that they set a trap to harm my son and daughter. Jiang Yang immediately reported. Them? Hua Ming narrowed his eyes and glanced at Jia Yuanjing and Jia Xingtian. Jia Xingtian immediately said, Elder Jiang, if you don't have evidence, don't talk nonsense. Jiang Yang is only talking about them. Could it be that Elder Jia has a guilty conscience? Jiang Tai narrowed his eyes and said, Guilty? Why would I be guilty? Jia Xingtian grinned and said, I also have some understanding of the situation. Why don't we call those guarding disciples over and see if they saw Yi Xian and Jiang Xingjuan leave the Blood Flame Hall together? All right, I've already called them over. Jiang Tai waved his hand. Not long after, 4 guarding disciples walked in. These 4 people were all true monarchs. One of them was even a rank 2 true monarch. Greetings, Hallmaster. Elders. The 4 people timidly walked in and respectfully said. Hua Ming didn't beat around the bush and directly said, Just now, did you really see Jiang Xingjuan and this youngster leave the Blood Flame Hall together? This? The 4 people glanced at each other. Soon after, a narrow-eyed disciple said, We didn't see anything. We only saw senior brother Jiang leave alone. What? The moment these words came out, Jiang Yang and Jiang Tai were both stunned. Just now, what they heard wasn't this. These 4 people clearly said that they saw Jiang Xingjuan and Yi Xian leave together with their own eyes. Haha, now the truth is out, right? Jia Xingtian laughed and said, Elder Jiang, could it be that you're looking for trouble? Jiang Tai pointed at Jia Xingtian in astonishment. He immediately understood that these 4 people should have been bribed by Jia Xingtian. Thus, he immediately cupped his fists and said, Hallmaster, I want to search the souls of these 4 disciples. Search the souls. Once these words came out, the 4 disciples trembled. If they were to search the souls of these 4 people, wouldn't this matter be exposed? Searching the souls of these 4 disciples can't be done so casually. If there's a mistake, these 4 disciples will be destroyed. How about this? Let me do it personally. Blood Flame Hallmaster said. With Hallmaster taking action, there won't be a problem. Jiang Tai didn't have any doubts and directly nodded in agreement. Then, Hua Ming began to search the souls of these 4 disciples one by one. In less than half a minute, the soul search was completed. Then he shook his head and said, What they said is true. They really only saw Jiang Xingwen and Jiang Xingjuan leave the Blood Flame Hall alone. What? That's impossible. Jiang Tai and Jiang Yang were shocked. This wasn't what they had heard before. Elder Jiang, why don't you do it yourself? Of course, if there's an accident, you'll have to compensate the 4 of them. Hua Ming said. All right. Jiang Tai immediately agreed. With his ability, compensating 4 disciples of first and second stage true monarchs was extremely easy for him. Then, he quickly flashed in front of the 4 and began to search their souls one by one. However, as time passed, his expression gradually became unsightly. This was because he saw that these 4 disciples didn't see Yi Xian leave. They only saw Jiang Xingwen and Jiang Xingjuan leave the Blood Flame Hall alone. Then, why did these 4 disciples lie to Jiang Yang just now? Elder Jiang, I'm afraid the matter of your grandson and granddaughter's death isn't that simple. These 4 disciples actually dared to lie to you. Someone must have ordered them to do so. Why don't we detain these 4 first and then investigate? Jia Xingtian suggested. Jiang Tai's expression was gloomy, but he didn't say anything. Just now, when he had searched the souls of these 4 disciples, he didn't know why they chose to lie to him and say that Yi Xian and Jiang Xingjuan left the Blood Flame Hall together. This was indeed something that needed to be questioned properly. Hallmaster, I hope that you can let me deal with these 4 disciples. Jiang Tai said to Hua Ming. Deceiving an elder and framing others should be punished indeed. Elder Jiang Tai. Do as you wish. Hua Ming nodded. Then Jiang Tai and Jiang Yang left with the 4 disciples, leaving Hua Ming, Jia Xingtian, Jia Yuanjing, and Yi Xian behind. Hall Master, thank you very much. After Jiang Tai and Jiang Yang left, Jia Xingtian hurriedly said, It's no harm. It's the Blood Flame Hall's great fortune that Jia Buiyuan was able to find such a genius. It's worth it to lose a few people. Chapter 1859. In fact, during the soul search, Hua Ming had already controlled the 4 disciples and tampered with their memories. That was why Jiang Tai did not see Yi Xian during the soul search. Elder Jiang Tai did not suspect Hall leader Hua Ming because he thought Hall leader Hua Ming was fair and just. However, he did not expect Hall leader Hua Ming to collude with Jia Xingtian and Jia Yuanjing because of Yi Xian. Thank you, Hall leader. After thanking Hall leader Hua Ming, Yi Xian took out Jiang Xingwen and Jiang Xingjuan's corpses. Amazing! Hall leader Hua Ming nodded in satisfaction and said, However, you were too careless. If I did not cover for you, you would have been caught by Elder Jiang Tai. You're right, Hall leader. Yi Xian hurriedly said. In fact, he was not afraid. After all, he had the time reversal skill. At most, he would return to the time before he arrived at the Blood Flame Hall. You should go back first. Don't wander around. I have reported your matter to the main hall. The main hall was very happy when they heard about it. After I plan carefully, I will send you to the main hall. Hua Ming said. Thank you, hall leader. Yi Xian thanked Hua Ming again. After that, he left and returned to his residence. Originally, he wanted to use the time reversal skill to find a good opportunity to kill Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen. At least, he could not let the 4 disciples see him. He could still do it. After all, he had the eyes of the void. However, he felt that Elder Jiang Tai and Elder Jiang Yang would not let him off so easily. Father, this is too strange. On the way back, Jiang Yang could not help but send a voice transmission to Jiang Tai. Did you personally ask him just now? Jiang Tai asked through voice transmission. Yes. The 4 of them said that they saw Xingjuan and Yi Xian leave the Blood Flame Hall together. Jiang Yang nodded solemnly. That's strange. Jiang Tai narrowed his eyes and decided to bring the 4 of them back for questioning first. However, no matter what method he used, the confessions of these 4 people were still the same as before. There was no change at all. A thought suddenly occurred to Jiang Yang, and he asked tentatively, Father, could it be that the sect master? You're saying that the hall master deliberately searched his own soul first, and then tampered with the memories of the 4 of them? He's intentionally shielding them? Jiang Tai immediately understood. It's possible. Jiang Yang nodded. However, the hall master has been in office for so long and has always separated public from private matters. He has never interfered in the conflict between Jia Xingtian and me. Why is it that this time? Jiang Tai could not understand. Perhaps they have already colluded together and are preparing to drive father out of the Blood Flame Hall. Jiang Yang said. No matter what, let's investigate first. If it's really the hall master behind this, then don't blame me for being heartless. Killing intent flashed in Jiang Tai's eyes. In the next 2 days, Yi Xian stayed in the Bloody Fire Hall. During this time, he had also broken through from rank 7 True Sage to rank 8 True Sage. Yan Ming Ghostly Lord, World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon, Wei Zhentian, Heaven-Breaking Ape God, and the others had also reached rank 3 Half-Step True Lords. Then, he heard Jia Xingtian's voice transmission. Yi Xian, I will escort you to the main hall tomorrow. Hearing this, Yi Xian's eyes lit up. Was he finally going to move? He had already made a plan. As long as he reached the main hall, he would let the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon examine 1,000 scales. At that time, he would definitely amaze the world. Then, he would ask for a large amount of World Destroyer Dragon Scales or World Destroyer Dragon Bones to increase his strength. Soon, the next day arrived. When the second day arrived, Jia Xingtian had already arrived at Yi Xian's residence and brought Yi Xian out of the Blood Flame Hall. It was said that the main hall of the Blood Flame Hall had also sent a rank 9 True Lord expert to receive them. Jia Xingtian's mission was to send Yi Xian to this expert. Jia Xingtian left in a rather secretive manner. However, Jiang Tai could still sense an rank 8 True Lord leaving the Blood Flame Hall. Hua Ming, Jia Xingtian, you killed my grandson and granddaughter. This grudge must be avenged. Jiang Tai thought to himself as he looked at Jia Xingtian's departing figure. Although he did not understand why Jia Xingtian brought Yi Xian away, he had already attributed the deaths of Jiang Xingjuan and Jiang Xingwen to Jia Xingtian. As for the Blood Flame Hall branch leader, Hua Ming, he was covering up for Jia Xingtian. Therefore, this was a good opportunity for Jia Xingtian to leave the Blood Flame Hall. However, Jia Xingtian did not know that he had already been included in the list of people who must be killed. Yi Xian, when you reach the main hall, don't forget about our branch hall if you succeed in the future. On the way, Jia Xingtian could not help but say to Yi Xian, Senior, don't worry. This junior will definitely not forget, Yi Xian said solemnly. Previously, Jia Xingtian had given him 5,000 World Destroyer Dragon Scales. In the future, when he grew stronger, it would not be a problem for him to give Jia Xingtian 50,000 World Destroyer Dragon Scales. That's good. Jia Xingtian nodded in satisfaction. However, less than half a day after they left the Blood Flame Hall, several figures rushed over from the horizon. Their auras are not weak. They are at least 7th-stage true monarchs, and there are even 2 8th-stage true monarchs. Jia Xingtian narrowed his eyes. After sensing these auras, he deliberately brought Yi Xian to a different direction. However, he did not expect that these people would also change direction. It seemed that these people were coming for them. Be careful. I'm afraid they don't have good intentions. Jia Xingtian hurriedly reminded. Yi Xian also raised his guard. After all, with his current strength, he was unable to help Jia Xingtian. Everyone, what's the matter? When the other party approached, Jia Xingtian could not help but ask. We've been asked to kill you. The 8th-stage true monarch in the lead did not say anything and directly attacked. The 4 7th-stage true monarchs behind him did the same. They were determined to kill Jia Xingtian. Shameless boasting. This old man has not fought for many years. Don't think that I'm a sick cat. Jia Xingtian shouted angrily and directly transformed into a majestic black dragon. Moreover, he was a black-winged demonic dragon of the black dragon race. His bloodline was more noble than that of ordinary black dragons. Among these 5 people, the 4 7th-stage true monarchs were humans. Only the 8th-stage true monarch in the lead was a black dragon. However, they had the advantage in numbers. Because Yi Xian's cultivation was too low, they could not arouse any interest in him, so they left him to the side. I can't participate in a battle of this level, but I can help. Yi Xian thought in his heart and transmitted a message to Jia Xingtian. If he wanted to fight this battle easily, he had to use the myriad beasts diagram. There's actually such a treasure? Fine, I'll give it a try. After hearing Yi Xian's transmission, Jia Xingtian immediately pulled away from the other party and transformed into his human form. Chapter 1860. Myriad Beasts Diagram, Suppress Him. Yi Xian opened his eyes wide. In the next moment, the strength of the black dragon in the form of the leader decreased by 60%. If the Myriad Beasts diagram was only at level 1, it might not be able to suppress him. But now that Wei Zhentian's treasure had evolved, the Myriad Beasts diagram was a level 2 treasure. It was enough to suppress the opponent. What? The black dragon was frightened. Why did his speed decrease all of a sudden? Haha, good chance. Jia Xingtian grinned and quickly rushed over to kill. Originally, the opponent's strength was already 30% weaker than his. Now, it was reduced by 60%. In his eyes, the opponent was no different from a 7th-stage true monarch. Kill! Jia Xingtian instantly accelerated and flashed in front of the opponent. Then, he punched and directly penetrated the opponent's chest, exploding his dragon heart. Instant kill. The Myriad Beasts diagram reduced all attributes. Apart from speed, it also reduced defense, attack, and so on. Therefore, Jia Xingtian was able to instantly kill the opponent. When the other 4 saw this, they were shocked and immediately turned around to leave. Want to leave? Stay here. Jia Xingtian opened his eyes wide and attacked again. Only 4 7th-stage true monarchs, and they were still humans. Naturally, they were unable to fight against him, even if they joined hands. However, Jia Xingtian was now in his human form. His strength was too weak compared to his main body. Only 2 7th-stage true monarchs were left behind. Yi Xian, this treasure of yours is too heaven-defying. If I had this treasure, I would be able to fight against a 9th-stage true monarch. Jia Xingtian couldn't help but say. Yi Xian just smiled indifferently and didn't say anything. Then, Jia Xingtian didn't waste time and directly threw the spatial rings of the 2 7th-stage true monarchs to Yi Xian. Then, he took the spatial rings of the 8th stage true monarch. I wonder who sent these 5 people to kill me. It seems that I have to search their souls. Jia Xingtian stared at the corpses and slowly said, Senior, let me do it. I have a treasure that can search their souls. After saying that, Yi Xian put the corpses of the 2 7th stage true monarchs into the planting space. Then, he used the soul-sucking bell transformed by Wei Zhentian to search their souls. The flow of time in the planting space was very slow. In less than a second, Yi Xian was done. So it's him. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and took out a floating image crystal. When Jia Xingtian saw the picture on the floating image crystal, his killing intent suddenly erupted. That bastard Jiang Tai, he actually entrusted others to kill me. Jia Xingtian was furious. This scene was something that Yi Xian had extracted from the souls of the 2 corpses of the 7th stage true monarchs using the soul-absorbing bell. This was the new effect of the soul-absorbing bell after it had advanced in rank. With this, Jiang Tai was dead for sure. Senior, why don't we go back first and kill that Jiang Tai? Yi Xian suggested. All right. In any case, the main hall's envoy will come to the branch hall. We can't let Jiang Tai escape. Jia Xingtian nodded. Soon after, he brought Yi Xian back to the Blood Flame Hall branch hall. After half a day, Jia Xingtian and Yi Xian returned to the Blood Flame Hall branch. After sensing their auras, Jia Yuanjing couldn't help but ask, Father, why did you come back? That bastard Jiang Tai actually entrusted someone to ambush and kill me midway, and he almost succeeded. Jia Xingtian couldn't help but say. On the way back, he had already sent a message to the Blood Flame Hall branch's hall master Hua Ming. However, Hua Ming said that Jiang Tai and Jiang Yang weren't in the Blood Flame Hall. The majority of the Jiang family members are. Jia Xingtian sensed for a moment. Since that was the case, Jiang Tai shouldn't have run away. However, Yi Xian felt that something was wrong. Sure enough, after he had this thought, Jia Xingtian's expression changed. Father, what's wrong? Jia Yuanjing asked. A large number of experts are approaching our Blood Flame Hall. Jia Xingtian opened his eyes wide and hurriedly left. Presumably, the Blood Flame Hall's hallmaster, a 9th stage true monarch, had also sensed it. Who are they? At this time, in the sky above the Blood Flame Hall, Hua Ming looked ahead and asked loudly. However, this time, it was a group of black-clothed people. Among them, there were 2 9th stage true monarchs, 10 8th stage true monarchs, and dozens of 7th stage true monarchs. Chapter 1861. System notifications rang out one after another. In the blink of an eye, Yi Xian's single slaughter seal directly soared to 9. If all 9 slaughter seals were to be unleashed, Yi Xian's strength would increase by 16 times. Unleash! In an instant, Yi Xian's strength skyrocketed again. He originally thought that he wouldn't be able to control this battle, but now, it seemed that he might be able to. Black Dragon Flame Wave. World-destroying Dragon Claw. Very soon, Yi Xian condensed 9 more slaughter seals. However, this time, he didn't need to use the slaughter state because the duration was still up. This time, he directly unleashed 8 slaughter seals and used the immortal extinguishing arrows. A total of 10 immortal extinguishing arrows pierced through the air, targeting a 7th stage true monarch. One had to know that with Yi Xian's current 8th stage true master realm, he could casually kill a high-level true monarch and condense enough slaughter seals. Killing one person would allow him to condense 10 immortal extinguishing arrows. Coupled with Yi Xian's current strength increase, how could 10 immortal extinguishing arrows not kill a 7th stage true monarch? What a joke! Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. Next, every time Yi Xian killed a person, he would condense 10 immortal extinguishing arrows and aim them at the opponent's chest. In this kind of chaotic battle, the effect of the immortal extinguishing arrows was very good. At most, one person could only dodge 5 of them before their heart was pierced. The number of people on the human side started to decrease rapidly. Bastard, you're courting death. An 8th stage true monarch noticed Yi Xian and immediately dove down. You want to go over? Did you ask for my permission? Suddenly, a black dragon appeared between him and Yi Xian. It turned out to be Jia Xingtian's son, Jia Yuanjing, an 8th stage true monarch. You want to kill me? You're not qualified. Yi Xian immediately used the Death Hunt command to mark his opponent and condensed 10 more immortal extinguishing arrows. This 8th stage true monarch had to defend against Jia Yuanjing and 10 immortal extinguishing arrows at the same time. That was not the main point. The main point was that the immortal extinguishing arrows were endless. 10, 20, 30. He was about to face 30 immortal extinguishing arrows. The exterminating immortal arrow had the ability to attack automatically. Moreover, Yi Xian would always aim at the enemy's heart. Unless the exterminating immortal arrow pierced the enemy's body, the enemy would not stop even if they ran for 100 years. Of course, the other party could scatter the extinguishing immortal arrow or quickly dodge it so that the extinguishing immortal arrow would hit something else. Damn it! The rank 8 middle-aged man realized that something was wrong and quickly retreated. Originally, this battle was in a stalemate. However, following the death of those rank 7 true monarchs, the situation became slightly bad. Sir, are we going to retreat? A true monarch of the 8th stage sent a voice transmission to a true monarch of the 9th stage. Don't be anxious. As long as we kill this Blood Flame Hall branch leader, we won't need to fear the others. A rank 9 true monarch shook his head. At this moment, the two of them are besieging the Blood Flame Hall's branch leader Hua Ming. However, Hua Ming has fused with nearly 600 world-destroying dragon scales and is also a Zooist, so his power is very extraordinary. However, they had other plans. The situation is not bad. As long as I have a little more time, I can get rid of the two of them by myself. Hua Ming, who has transformed into his true form, thinks to himself. However, right at this moment, a white light suddenly flashes. Suddenly, a white light flashed. He glanced around and found that one of the two opponents had transformed into a white dragon. What? Hua Ming is extremely shocked. If the other party is a Zooist, he should have been able to sense it. He reckons that the other party is using some kind of treasure to conceal his Zooist aura. Without waiting for Hua Ming to react, the white dragon opens its big mouth and spits out a white dragon breath, which accurately explodes on Hua Ming's body. Not only that, but the other person also transformed into a white dragon and rapidly attacked. Roar! Hua Ming looks up to the sky and roars. Only now does he realize that the one who is attacking the Blood Flame Hall is not some other power but the White Dragon Hall. He did not expect that the Grand White Dragon Hall would actually do such a shady thing. Without any evidence to prove that he is a member of the Black Dragon Hall, they used such a method to destroy the Blood Flame Hall. I am unwilling to accept this. Hua Ming's heart is bleeding. He is indeed a branch leader of the Black Dragon Hall, but he does not know how he has been exposed. At this moment, he suddenly sees a familiar figure from the corner of his eyes. Jiang Tai. At this moment, he understands that he was exposed by Jiang Tai and Jiang Yang. At this moment, he even has the thought of perishing together with Jiang Tai and Jiang Yang. Unfortunately, he was seriously injured by these two experts of the White Dragon Hall. Even if he were to risk his life, he would not be able to hold on for long. At the same time, ding! Host has triggered a random mission. Kill Jiang Yang. Completion reward. Slaughter mark will advance once. Kill Jiang Yang and Jiang Tai. Double reward. Ding! Mission is in progress. Time reversal cannot be used. Two system notifications resound in Yi Xian's mind. Jiang Yang, Jiang Tai? Hearing this, Yi Xian quickly turns his head and sees the late Jiang Yang and Jiang Tai. Since the system gave him this mission, it means that this matter was definitely caused by Jiang Tai and Jiang Yang. Jiang Yang is only a rank 7 true monarch. Killing him is not difficult. But Jiang Tai is a rank 8 true monarch. If there is no one to help me, it will not be so easy to kill him in my current situation. Yi Xian thinks to himself. It must be said that the double reward is very tempting to him. But at this moment, he still needs to plan for the long term. In any case, Jiang Yang must be killed. Death Chasing Command. Immediately, Yi Xian uses the Death Chasing Command to mark the rank 7 true monarch Jiang Yang. It just so happens that he has reached the 9th mark. Thus, he quickly condenses 10 immortal ending arrows and aims them at Jiang Yang's heart. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 10 immortal ending arrows pierced through the air and shot toward Jiang Yang. At this time, Jiang Yang and Jiang Tai had just joined the battle. Because the others did not know that they were traitors, they were directly ambushed by the two. A rank 7 true monarch and a rank 8 true monarch elders of the Blood Flame Hall were ambushed and killed. Elder Jiang Yang, you. Elder Jiang Tai. Why are you attacking your own people? Could it be? The surrounding experts of the Blood Flame Hall all revealed astonished expressions. Those two are traitors. Kill them. At this time, Jia Xingtian suddenly yells. Now, anyone with a discerning eye can see that there is no need for him to remind them. Remnants of the Black Dragon cult, this old man has already forsaken the darkness for the light and submitted to the White Dragon Palace. If you know what's good for you, obediently surrender. Zhang Tai coldly says. What? We are from the Black Dragon cult? When the people below heard this, they were somewhat confused. Chapter 1862. Immediately, some of the ordinary elders were shaken. However, the experts of the White Dragon Palace took advantage of the situation and pursued them, heavily injuring or killing them as soon as they revealed an opening. Just a single sentence from Zhang Tai was enough to cause the Blood Flame Hall to lose several members. The other elders were so angry that they gnashed their teeth and directly pounced toward Zhang Yang and Zhang Tai. My chance has finally come. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. The reason why he was able to act so smoothly was because there was someone helping him. If he had to face a rank 7 true monarch alone, it would definitely be impossible. But now, Zhang Tai's actions had aroused the anger of the crowd. Several people were already rushing toward him. In addition, Zhang Tai's son, Zhang Yang, naturally wouldn't let him off. You want to catch me? Not so easy. Zhang Yang's lips slightly curled up. But right at this time, a powerful aura suddenly appeared behind him. What? Zhang Yang suddenly turned around and discovered an extremely powerful dragon aura. Before he could react, the dragon aura had already engulfed him. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. A system notification rang out in Yi Xian's mind. Zhang Yang dead. Ding! Host has completed the random mission. Will you immediately receive the reward? This time, Yi Xian hesitated. Right now, he needed someone to attract his opponent's attention in order to succeed. Moreover, Zhang Yang was only a rank 7 true monarch, while Zhang Tai was in rank 8 true monarch, infinitely close to rank 9 true monarch. Most importantly, Zhang Yang had died in Yi Xian's hands. Zhang Tai would definitely be enraged. It was simply impossible to kill him. Yes. After pondering for a moment, Yi Xian made his decision. Sometimes, it was better to be a little more conservative. After the random mission, there was another explanation, and that was that the time reversal skill couldn't be used while the mission was in progress. What if an accident happened in the middle? At that time, wouldn't Yi Xian have to destroy 3 of his clones? It wasn't worth it. Ding! Slaughter Seal has leveled up once. The system notification rang out. Yi Xian quickly glanced at it and discovered that the amplification of a single seal had increased from 1.8 times to 2 times. Moreover, the maximum number of slaughter seals had increased from 9 to 10. If all 10 slaughter seals were to be unleashed at the same time, it would be able to increase his battle prowess by 20 times. In addition to the 10 times increase in sex and other things, that was a total of 30 times. It was a pity that the Carnage seal required 2 Devour points for the next level up. You bastard! How dare you kill my son? I'll take your life. When Zhang Tai saw that his son had been blasted to death by Yi Xian, he immediately raised his head and roared. He transformed into his true form and rushed towards Yi Xian. At this time, Jia Xingtian suddenly flashed over and held Zhang Tai back. Now I will show you my true strength. Yi Xian's eyes widened. He immediately used up the 10 slaughter seals that he had just condensed and activated the slaughter status. Previously it was only 16 times, but now it was 20 times. Although it couldn't be stacked, it still increased Yi Xian's strength by nearly 4 times. Kill! Murderous intent flashed in Yi Xian's eyes as he instantly disappeared from Zhang Tai's field of vision. The next moment, he appeared behind Zhang Tai. Annihilation Dragon Claw. Black Dragon Flame Wave. Yi Xian attacked with both hands and mouth, catching Zhang Tai unprepared. Although the latter dodged the Black Dragon Flame Wave, a large chunk of flesh was torn off his chest by the Annihilation Dragon Claw. Then, Jia Xingtian attacked. Bang! Zhang Tai's body was sent flying by Jia Xingtian's dragon tail. However, at the same time there was a change in the battle on the other side. Blood Flame Hall's branch leader, Hua Ming, was finally killed by those 2 white dragons and thus fell. Actually, it wasn't that Yi Xian didn't want to save Hua Ming, but that he had no other choice. Although he had the 10,000 beasts diagram, Most of the Blood Flame Hall's members were Zuyoists, while the White Dragon Hall's members were mostly humans. Once the 10,000 Beasts diagram appeared, a large number of Blood Flame Hall experts would be suppressed. Moreover, Hua Ming and those 2 White Dragon Hall 9th stage true monarchs wouldn't be able to escape either. Yi Xian, it's bad. The hall leader is dead. Jia Xingtian couldn't help but say while attacking Jiang Tai. Let's kill Jiang Tai and then leave. Yi Xian replied through sound transmission. He was still unable to turn the situation around in this battle, but he could only avenge Hua Ming. Jiang Tai must die. Immediately, Yi Xian, along with Jia Xingtian, attacked Jiang Tai. Because of Jiang Yang's death, Jiang Tai also wanted to smash Yi Xian's body. Therefore, he quickly rushed over. However, when Yi Xian was halfway there, he suddenly sensed 2 other powerful auras. 9th stage true monarchs. Not good. Yi Xian's expression changed greatly. He was unexpectedly targeted by 2 9th stage true monarchs. It seemed that he couldn't kill Jiang Tai for the time being. Senior, let's go. At once, Yi Xian directly used the planting space to put Jia Xingtian and Jia Yuanjing inside. Then, he quickly used the death hunting command to mark a person and used the Eye of Assassination. World-destroying Dragon Claw. Yi Xian crushed the body of a 7th stage true monarch with a single strike. Then, he broke through the void and entered the planting space. He had already used his full strength. If he continued to stay here, it would be of no use. Who knew if something unexpected would happen? Therefore, he could only choose to leave. As for the others, he had already sent a sound transmission. However, many of them resisted the planting space's absorption and were not taken away. As a result, they were all killed by the experts of the White Dragon Palace. As for the disciples and relatives of the Blood Flame Hall, none of them managed to escape. They were all surrounded by the experts of the White Dragon Palace. The White Dragon Palace's plan was to eliminate the upper echelons of the Blood Flame Hall, and then find the upper echelons of the Blood Flame Hall. Although Yi Xian and Jia Xingtian had escaped, Hua Ming was already dead. Moreover, his body had been stored. As long as they searched his soul, the upper echelons of the Blood Flame Hall would have nowhere to hide. Of course, there would also be some accidents. For example, the Black Dragon Palace's branch leader would erase this memory. Or, this branch leader might not know the location of the upper echelons. Every once in a while, the Black Dragon Envoy would come to collect the world-destroying dragon scale. At this moment, Yi Xian had already passed through the Void Gate and arrived at a safe place. What a tragedy! A random mission actually appeared along the way, making the time reversal skill unusable. Yi Xian sighed repeatedly. In the random mission just now, he was unable to use the time reversal skill. Now that the random mission had been completed, although he could use the skill, he could only go back to the time after the random mission was triggered. In short, he could not go back to the time of yesterday. He could only go back to the time after Jiang Tai appeared. Otherwise, he would definitely go back to the time before and inform the Blood Flame Hall's Hall Master, Hua Ming. Chapter 1863. Yi Xian did not expect that he would trigger a random quest along the way, causing his time reversal skill to temporarily lose its effect. He gazed into the distance. Jiang Tai, who had been marked with a death warrant, should be venting his anger by killing the elders of the Blood Flame Hall. Although my random mission has been completed, if I don't kill this Jiang Tai, I will feel uneasy. Yi Xian made up his mind. In a few more days, he would be able to make a breakthrough in his realm. At that time, it wouldn't be too difficult for him to kill this Jiang Tai who was an 8th stage true monarch. After all, Jia Xingtian, Jia Yuanjing, and several elders of the 7th stage true monarch rank were still waiting for orders in his planting space. That bastard Jiang Tai actually betrayed the Blood Flame Hall. In the planting space, Jia Xingtian and the others were cursing. Although they had escaped, they still had family and friends in the Blood Flame Hall. Moreover, many people from the Blood Flame Hall had died in this battle. They also wanted to kill Jiang Tai very much. Senior, don't worry. I will definitely kill Jiang Tai and avenge the Hallmaster and everyone else. I will also save the others. Yi Xian said. Saving people was a must, but not now. If he were to rush back now, it would be useless, so Yi Xian could only watch. Since only 6 people in the Blood Flame Hall knew the secret, as long as the others surrendered, they would not be killed by the White Dragon Palace's experts. Soon, The Blood Flame Hall was controlled. Then, the two rank 9 true monarchs immediately began to search Huaming's soul. The branch hall master of the Blood Flame Hall, Huaming, was a rank 9 true monarch. The two of them were also rank 9 true monarchs. Thus, it would not be that easy to perform a soul search on two people of the same level. At the very least, it was not something that could be done overnight because they did not have a treasure like the soul-absorbing bell. Several days later. Ding! Host has made a breakthrough. Host is now a 9th stage true master. Ding! Inferno Ghostly Lord, World-Annihilating Ghostly Dragon, Wei Zhentian, and Heaven-Breaking Divine Ape have all broken through. They are now 4th stage half-step true monarchs. Yi Xian's realm had undergone a qualitative improvement. However, with his current cultivation level, it would be difficult for him to deal with so many White Dragon Palace experts. However, Jia Xingtian, Jia Yuanjing and the other elders gave Yi Xian 10,000 pieces of World Annihilation Dragon Scales. As a result, the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon's strength had doubled. Let's give it a try first. If it doesn't work, then I'll use Time Reversal. Yi Xian thought to himself. The Time Reversal skill was like a record. At most, it would return to the time when the White Dragon Palace experts attacked the Blood Flame Hall. However, this was enough. After all, nothing had happened after Yi Xian left. At this time, Yi Xian was already rushing towards the Bloodfire Hall. With his current strength, as long as he launched a sneak attack, it would be enough to cause quite a bit of trouble for the experts of the White Dragon Palace. Soon, he arrived near the Blood Flame Hall. With his cultivation level, no one would notice him. Jiang Tai is still inside. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes as he looked at the scarlet word, kill in the distance. Just in case, he wanted to take the White Dragon Palace's rank 7 true monarch first. That way, he would be able to use the slaughter seal. After the last battle, the White Dragon Palace only had a few rank 7 true monarchs left. Fortunately, there just so happened to be 2 rank 7 true monarchs patrolling outside the Blood Flame Hall. Let's start with you. Yi Xian raised his eyebrows and directly used the Death Hunt seal to mark one of the rank 7 true monarchs. In the next moment, he summoned the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon and the others and fused with them. There were 10 beasts, 10 times. Immediately after, Yi Xian unleashed 4 more slaughter seals, increasing his strength by 8 times. In addition, there was also the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon's triple Undying Battle Soul. If the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon's 6th stage amplification was added, it would be a total of 26 times. Eye of Assassination. When the White Dragon Palace's rank 7 true monarch discovered the aura of the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon, Yi Xian had already used the Eye of Assassination and directly appeared behind him. Black Dragon Flame Wave. After fusing with the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon, Yi Xian opened his mouth and spat out a black dragon breath. Boom! This rank 7 true monarch was directly killed. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. Ding! Host has condensed a slaughter seal. Ding! Host has condensed a slaughter seal. After several system notifications rang out, Yi Xian directly used 10 slaughter seals. Now, the slaughter seal's amplification was no longer 8 times, but 20 times. Yi Xian, whose strength had greatly increased, quickly rushed into the Bloodfire Hall. At the same time, his powerful aura was also detected by the experts of the White Dragon Palace in the Bloodfire Hall. It's that black dragon again. Immediately, many experts of the White Dragon Palace leaped into the sky. Among them, there was even a rank 9 true monarch expert. As for the other one, he was searching Huaming's soul. You can't stop me. Yi Xian opened his eyes wide and once again used the Death Hunt seal to mark one of them. Eye of Assassination. Yi Xian once again appeared behind the opponent and spat out his dragon breath. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. Ding! Host has condensed a slaughter seal. Another series of system notifications rang out. Yi Xian, who had just used the slaughter seal, condensed another 9 slaughter seals. Adding the one that Yi Xian used himself, he now had 10 slaughter seals. Release! 9 Carving Seals. Immortal Slaying Sword Formation. Yi Xian opened his eyes wide. In the next instant, a beautiful formation rapidly spread out with him as the center. Back then, because there were many experts of the Bloodfire Hall, Yi Xian didn't dare to use this move. But today, the experts of the Bloodfire Hall were all under control, and the ones who jumped into the sky were all people of the White Dragon Palace. Therefore, Yi Xian didn't have any misgivings this time. After the immortal slaying sword formation leveled up, it could be used regardless of whether it was 9 carving seals or 10 carving seals. Moreover, after using it, an immortal slaying puppet with 8 carving seals would appear in the formation. Perhaps not many people could block this move. Most importantly, even that 9th stage true monarch wouldn't be able to break this immortal slaying sword formation unless he killed Yi Xian. Immediately, those experts of the White Dragon Palace were enveloped by the immortal slaying sword formation. In the next instant, a frenzy of swords was set off within the immortal slaying sword formation. Then, people gradually started to die. Not only that, but Yi Xian also continuously used up the slaughter seal after each person died. 8 carving immortal slaying puppet. Immortal slashing arrow. Immortal slaying breath slash. Yi Xian could be considered to have used all his trump cards. When the immortal slaying sword formation was finished, everyone present except that 9th stage true monarch had died. This move instantly killed more than 10 people, including several 8th stage true monarchs. Behind the immortal slaying sword formation, that 9th stage true monarch and the disciples of the Bloodfire Hall all revealed shocked expressions. What is the background of this brat? That 9th stage true monarch couldn't understand. Fortunately, he dodged quickly and didn't enter the immortal slaying sword formation. Otherwise, he would have been seriously injured. Immediately, he quickly transformed into his original form. Chapter 1864. You've finally returned to your true form? Good. The corners of Yi Xian's mouth slightly curled, and he immediately charged toward the white dragon. You're courting death. The white dragon's eyes flashed, and it aimed at Yi Xian, immediately releasing a white dragon's breath. Unfortunately, when this dragon's breath was released, Yi Xian had already flashed behind it. Myriad Beasts Diagram. Suppress. In an instant, the white dragon's strength dropped by 60%. Immediately after, Black Dragon Flame Wave. After using the Eye of Assassination, the Black Dragon Flame Wave's power increased by 50%. Adding that it was a sneak attack, this attack actually annihilated half of the white dragon's body in an instant. Coincidentally, half of the white dragon's heart was also destroyed. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. When this system notification rang out, Yi Xian's slaughter seals had recovered to 10. Now, one of the 2 White Dragon Palace's 9th stage true monarchs had already died, so the remaining one probably wouldn't be a threat. Coincidentally, that Jianghu also rushed over from the mountain behind the Blood Flame Hall. When he saw Yi Xian kill that 9th stage true monarch, he was so scared that he almost peed his pants. In just a few days, Yi Xian actually dared to kill his way in. What kind of monster was this? Jianghu faced death. After coldly saying that, Yi Xian flashed behind Jianghu, and then extended his dragon claw. Poochie! A piece of flesh was torn off Jianghu's back by the world-destroying dragon claw, and there was even a beating dragon's heart. No! Don't! Jianghu extended his hand, looking at Yi Xian. His eyes seemed to be begging Yi Xian not to crush his dragon's heart. For experts of this level, even if their hearts were ripped out, they would still be alive, unless their hearts were damaged. Unfortunately, Yi Xian's desire to kill Jianghu would not weaken. Poochie! With a crisp sound, Jianghu's dragon heart was crushed by Yi Xian. In an instant, Jianghu's body fell from the sky and was caught by Yi Xian. Half of the vengeance had been avenged. In the end, only that rank 9 true monarch of the White Dragon Palace was left. Yi Xian quickly rushed over. However, halfway there, that rank 9 true monarch of the White Dragon Palace rushed out on his own. Bastard! The White Dragon Palace expert flew into a rage and charged towards Yi Xian. In the blink of an eye, Yi Xian started to fight against him. After going through many enhancements, Yi Xian was now able to fight against this 9th stage true monarch. If this rank 9 true monarch were to transform into his true form, Yi Xian would be able to use the 10,000 beast diagram to suppress him and then kill him. The only thing he didn't know was whether this 9th stage true monarch would transform into his true form or not. Your individual combat power is about the same as mine now. I don't believe that you won't change. Yi Xian's eyes flickered and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Sure enough, when this rank 9 true monarch saw that his human form was unable to do anything to Yi Xian, he roared at the sky and transformed into his true form. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Yi Xian made Wei Zhentian transform into the 10,000 beasts diagram again and suppressed him in an instant. Although his true form was stronger, after being suppressed by the 10,000 beasts diagram, he was much weaker than before. What? This rank 9 true monarch was scared out of his wits. However, Yi Xian's attack had already arrived. Black Dragon Flame Wave. If he was at his peak, he would definitely be able to dodge this attack. However, with 60% of his strength suppressed by the 10,000 beasts diagram, he couldn't dodge at all. Boom! With just one attack, half of this white dragon's body was annihilated and he directly died. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. A system notification rang out. Immediately, Yi Xian quickly rushed over and put away the corpse. He didn't expect to be able to kill these people without breaking through again. It seemed that he didn't need to use time reversal either. Now that all the White Dragon Palace experts were dead, Yi Xian quickly collected the others into the planting space, including Jia Xingtian's descendants and so on. As for the Jiang family members, Yi Xian also collected all of them, but he definitely wouldn't give them any convenience in the future. TSK, TSK, TSK. The entire Bloodfire Hall actually gathered 30,000 pieces of World Annihilation Dragon Scales. After this, Yi Xian couldn't stop smiling. However, the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon now needed 100,000 pieces of World Annihilation Dragon Scales. 30,000 pieces of World Annihilation Ghost Dragon Scales could only increase its strength by 30%. However, at this moment, suddenly, a powerful aura descended upon the Bloodfire Hall. Yi Xian was so frightened that he hurriedly turned around and saw a white-robed elder standing in the air, looking down at him. An expert from the White Dragon Palace? Seeing this, Yi Xian's body trembled violently. He didn't expect another White Dragon Palace expert to appear. Moreover, this person's aura seemed to be even stronger than the two rank 9 true monarchs. A half-step true monarch. A half-step true monarch expert had actually appeared. This was a tragedy. One had to know that Yi Xian's buff had already worn off. Right now, he probably couldn't even defeat a rank 8 true monarch, let alone a half-step true monarch expert. However, he wasn't afraid. This time, he had only come to test things out. If anything unexpected happened, he could directly use the time reversal skill to go back. In the face of such an expert, Yi Xian didn't act rashly. He only quietly watched, pretending to be an ordinary Bloodfire Hall disciple. Of course, his strength was too low to pretend to be a Bloodfire Hall disciple. This half-step true monarch White Dragon Palace expert looked around but didn't find a single person. Thus, his gaze landed on Yi Xian. However, at this moment, another powerful aura appeared. This half-step true monarch White Dragon Palace expert turned his head and discovered a black figure rapidly rushing towards him. This aura was actually also a half-step true monarch. Who is it? This White Dragon Palace expert narrowed his eyes and watched cautiously. Soon, this black figure arrived in front of him. It was a black-clothed middle-aged man. Who are you? The White Dragon Palace expert couldn't help but ask. Someone from the White Dragon Palace? The black-clothed middle-aged man narrowed his eyes. Then, he directly transformed into a black dragon and charged at the White Dragon Palace expert. After knowing that the other party was from the White Dragon Palace, only someone from the Black Dragon sect would dare to directly attack. The White Dragon Palace expert immediately understood. Thus, he also charged at the black-clothed middle-aged man. Unfortunately, this White Dragon Palace expert was also a rank 1 half-step true monarch like the black-clothed middle-aged man. However, the black-clothed middle-aged man was a Xiaoyao while the black-clothed middle-aged man was a human. Furthermore, the black-clothed middle-aged man had fused with quite a few World Destruction Dragon Scales. Thus, this White Dragon Palace expert was utterly defeated and turned to flee. You want to leave? Not so easy. The black-clothed middle-aged man narrowed his eyes and unleashed his full power, beating this White Dragon Palace expert until he screamed miserably. Chapter 1865. The main hall of the Bloodflame Hall should be a branch of the Black Dragon cult. However, didn't they send a 9th stage true monarch to pick me up? Why is he a half-step true monarch? Yi Xian had some doubts in his heart, but he didn't think too much about it. He decided to observe the situation first. Soon, the battle in the sky between the half-step true monarchs ended with the death of the White Dragon Palace's expert. Then the black-clothed man kept the corpse. This time his luck was pretty good. He actually managed to kill a white dragon palace expert. "You are Yi Xian?" the black-clothed middle-aged man asked as he turned to look at Yi Xian. Junior Yi Xian greets senior. Yi Xian hurriedly cupped his fists. The black-clothed middle-aged man nodded slightly. Then, he took out a floating image crystal to confirm Yi Xian's appearance. At his level, he would be able to see through Yi Xian's disguise. "Where's your dragon? Summon it for me to see," the black-clothed middle-aged man said. Hearing this, Yi Xian quickly summoned the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon. The black-clothed middle-aged man took out another testing crystal and tested it. Sure enough, the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon had fused with more than 500 World Annihilation Dragon scales. A fourth-stage half-step true monarch black dragon had actually fused with 500 World Annihilation Dragon scales. It was simply inconceivable. Even the main hall of the Blood Flame Hall couldn't find such a black dragon. Therefore, the main hall of the Blood Flame Hall treated Yi Xian's black dragon as a treasure. If it was nurtured, it would become a super battle force. "Let's go. I'll bring you to the main hall." After the black-clothed middle-aged man finished speaking, he led Yi Xian on his way. Along the way, he inquired about the matter of the branch hall. After that, he was very surprised. The White Dragon Palace had actually done such a thing. Therefore, he quickly reported to the main hall of the Blood Flame Hall. However, the reply from the main hall was that he shouldn't return for now. Something had happened in the main hall. However, the main hall didn't say what exactly had happened. Even the main hall is in trouble. Could it be related to the White Dragon Palace? Yi Xian thought to himself. During the journey, Yi Xian finally broke through to the half-step true monarch realm, while the old tree and the others reached the fifth-stage half-step true monarch realm. A few days later, he followed the black-clothed middle-aged man and finally arrived at the headquarters of the Blood Flame Hall. However, when they looked from afar, they discovered a large number of white-clothed experts surrounding the Blood Flame Hall's main hall. These white-clothed people should be the experts of the White Dragon Palace. However, why were they surrounding the Blood Flame Hall's main hall and not taking any action? Could it be that he was still in the suspicious stage? "Senior, what should we do?" Yi Xian could not help but ask. The black-clothed middle-aged man paused for a moment, then said, "Just now, I received a sound transmission from my fellow disciples. The White Dragon Palace suspects that our Blood Flame Hall is a branch of the Black Dragon sect, so they have begun to investigate. Could it be that another traitor has appeared?" Yi Xian secretly said in his heart. His luck was really too bad. There was a traitor in the branch hall, and now there was another traitor in the main hall. "Can't you cultivate properly?" "Senior, many thanks for escorting me here." Yi Xian suddenly cupped his fists toward the black-clothed middle-aged man. The black-clothed middle-aged man raised his eyebrows and asked in shock, "What do you want to do?" "This brat wants to go and stir up trouble," Yi Xian said. "Stir up trouble? What kind of joke is this? What realm are you at?" The black-clothed middle-aged man felt that Yi Xian was a bit too arrogant. After all, Yi Xian had just broken through to the half-step true monarch realm. One had to know that the White Dragon Palace experts patrolling outside the Blood Flame Hall were all high-level true monarchs at the very least, and there were also quite a few half-step true monarchs. With Yi Xian's strength, going there was simply courting death. "Senior, to tell you the truth, before you found me, I had just killed 2 ninth-stage true monarchs of the White Dragon Palace. These are their corpses." As Yi Xian spoke, he took out the 2 white dragon corpses. "You killed 2 ninth-stage true monarchs of the White Dragon Palace? What kind of joke is this?" As the black-clothed middle-aged man spoke, he carefully examined the 2 corpses. They were indeed ninth-stage true monarchs. However, he still did not believe Yi Xian's words. In his eyes, Yi Xian was a good seedling. Therefore, he did not want Yi Xian to meet with a setback and die prematurely. However, before he could react, Yi Xian had already summoned the old tree and the others. "World Devastator Ghostly Dragon, merge." Yi Xian did not say anything and merged with the World Devastator Ghostly Dragon. Then, he consumed the slaughter seal and exploded. Kill. In an instant, Yi Xian charged out. Previously, he could easily kill high-level true monarchs. Now that he had broken through, it was even less of a problem. Even so, he still wanted to gradually improve. This time, He was looking for a 7th-stage true monarch. Bam! With a muffled sound, a 7th-stage true monarch of the White Dragon Palace was crushed by Yi Xian and died. Due to the huge difference in cultivation level, Yi Xian's slaughter seal instantly condensed to 10. Slaughter seal, 20 times. Yi Xian's eyes widened, and his aura instantly skyrocketed. After the 20 times increase, his strength was infinitely close to that of a half-step true monarch. If he could use it with a myriad beasts diagram, he would probably be able to kill even a half-step true monarch. Very soon, the White Dragon Palace experts died one by one, and their corpses were collected by Yi Xian. 7th-stage true monarchs, 8th-stage true monarchs, and even 9th-stage true monarchs all died at Yi Xian's hands. However, Yi Xian's rampant actions also attracted the attention of a half-step true monarch expert. Where did this brat come from? How dare he kill my White Dragon Palace's people? A shout rang out. Immediately after, a powerful aura rushed toward Yi Xian. A half-step true monarch. A mere first-stage half-step true monarch isn't qualified. Yi Xian raised an eyebrow and directly used the death hunt token to mark the other party. Eye of Assassination. In the next instant, Yi Xian flashed behind the other party. The Eye of Assassination would increase the power of the next attack by 50%. And for the next attack, Yi Xian was going to use the Immortal Slaying Sword formation. Moreover, he was going to use the 10 seal. In an instant, the Immortal Slaying Sword formation expanded with Yi Xian as the center, enveloping that half-step true monarch of the White Dragon Palace. The 10 seal Immortal Slaying Sword formation and the Eye of Assassination were more than 10 times stronger than the 9 seal Immortal Slaying Sword formation that day. After all, Yi Xian's cultivation level had also increased. Immediately, a gust of wind blew within the Immortal Slaying Sword formation. Countless flying swords swept out. At the same time, a figure attacked that half-step true monarch of the White Dragon Palace. The 9 seal Immortal Slaying Sword formation would summon an 8 seal Immortal Slaying Puppet, while the 10 seal Immortal Slaying Sword formation would summon a 10 seal Immortal Slaying Puppet. What a powerful aura! The White Dragon Palace expert narrowed his eyes. After sensing this extraordinary aura, he immediately transformed into his true form. Another white dragon appeared. Chapter 1866. Just in time. Yi Xian laughed loudly and immediately had Megatron transform into the myriad beasts diagram. Suppress. The white dragon's strength instantly dropped by 60%. But that wasn't the point. The point was that he was currently in the middle of the Immortal Slaying Sword formation. Not good. The half-step monarch's expression changed greatly, but it was already too late. Even at his peak, he might not have had a 100% chance of surviving the Immortal Slaying Sword formation. Now that his chances had dropped by 60%, it wasn't a 90% chance of survival, but a 100% chance of survival. Immortal Slaying Sword Technique. Within the Immortal Slaying Sword formation, the Immortal Slaying Puppet executed the Immortal Slaying Sword Technique. Together with the sword formation's countless chaotic swords, the half-step monarch was quickly killed. A half-step monarch, dead. Before this, Yi Xian had already used the slaughter seal. Then because of his enormous killing intent, he formed 9 more slaughter seals. Another 10 slaughter seals. 1 Immortal Slaying Sword formation can kill a half-step monarch. If I use it a few more times. At this thought, Yi Xian quickly put away the half-step monarch's corpse in front of him, then quickly searched for his next target. The Blood Flame Hall's headquarters was very large. Even if one flew around it, it would still take some time. This time, there were many White Dragon Palace experts surrounding the Blood Flame Hall's headquarters. Excluding the monarchs, there were more than 20 half-step monarchs. Among these 20 half-step monarchs, there were 15 rank 1 half-step monarchs, 5 rank 2 half-step monarchs, and 1 rank 3 half-step monarchs. This strength was actually about the same as the Blood Flame Hall's headquarters. However, these people didn't do anything for some reason. Soon, after killing more than 10 monarchs, Yi Xian finally found a second half-step monarch. Death Hunt Command. Eye of Assassination. 10 Carving Seals. Immortal Slaying Sword formation. Yi Xian didn't say anything else and directly used his ultimate move. However, this half-step monarch wasn't a Xiaoyao, but a human. This meant that the myriad beasts diagram was useless against him. Who are you, scoundrel? The White Dragon Palace expert shouted at the sky. At this moment, He was already enveloped by the immortal slaying sword formation. The immortal slaying puppets had also been formed and were charging towards him. Besides that, there were also other attacks from Yi Xian. Before finding this half-step true monarch, Yi Xian had used his dragon claws to capture a few white dragon palace true monarchs. After using the immortal slaying sword formation, Yi Xian had crushed these white dragon palace true monarchs to death one by one. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. Ding! Host has condensed a slaughter seal. The slaughter seal once again surged upwards. Immortal slaying puppet go! Yi Xian's eyes widened as he formed several immortal puppets with 8 inscriptions. Under the siege of so many people, this half-step monarch finally fell and his corpse was taken away by Yi Xian. However, before he died, Yi Xian felt an aura even stronger than that of a first-stage half-step true king. It seemed that his actions had already been noticed by those second-stage half-step true kings. It's about time. Let's go. Immediately, Yi Xian tore through the void and left. That rank 2 half-step true monarch missed. Last time, Yi Xian had killed 2 half-step true kings from White Dragon Palace. If he came again tomorrow, he might kill 2 more. Tisk. TSK. TSK. There are more than 10,000 world destruction dragon scales in total. Not bad, not bad. After counting the spoils of war, Yi Xian's lips curled up slightly. Because these people were from White Dragon Palace, they did not have many world destruction dragon scales, but it was enough. On the other side, the black-robed middle-aged man hiding in the distance could not believe that Yi Xian had successfully killed 2 half-step true kings. As for where Yi Xian had gone, even he did not know. After a day, after all the skills were off cooldown, Yi Xian attacked again and killed a few more high-level true monarchs and 2 half-step true kings. If this continued, the world destruction ghostly dragon's amplification would increase by a lot and even reach the 7th stage. How I hope a fortuitous encounter will allow me to obtain 10 million world destruction dragon scales. This way, the world destruction ghostly dragon's strength will definitely skyrocket. Yi Xian thought to himself. However, on the 3rd day, the people from White Dragon Palace learned their lesson and started to move in groups of 2 or 3 half-step true kings. However, this was of no use to Yi Xian. Those who deserved to be killed would still be killed. After Yi Xian killed a few of them, he finally collected 100,000 world destruction dragon scales, allowing the world destruction ghostly dragon's amplification to reach the 7th stage. This time, he actually needed 500,000 world destruction dragon scales. In other words, he needed 5,000 world destruction dragon scales to increase the amplification by 1 point. This was truly heaven-defying. However, as long as there were enough world destruction dragon scales, the world destruction ghostly dragon could continue to grow without limit. One had to know that the world destruction black dragon's body was astonishingly large. Its dragon scales were endless and could probably be measured in hundreds of millions, billions, or even tens of billions. For example, the half-step true king level white dragon that Yi Xian had killed previously was so large that it covered the sky. Its dragon scales had long exceeded hundreds of millions. Ding! Host has broken through. Host is now a 2nd stage half-step true monarch. Ding! Inferno Ghostly Lord, World Destruction Ghostly Dragon, Wei Zhentian, and Sky-Breaking Ape God have broken through. Host is now a 6th stage half-step true monarch. While Yi Xian was camping, they had broken through again and their strength had increased by several times. Now, Yi Xian was qualified to attack a 3rd stage half-step true monarch. Therefore, he was prepared to go all out. Since you're ready, let's go. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. This time, he directly charged to the entrance of the Bloodfire Hall. The 3rd stage half-step true monarch was there. It was the same old plan. He would start from the weakest. World Destruction Ghostly Dragon, fuse. Without hesitation, Yi Xian fused with the World Destruction Ghostly Dragon. Then, he used the Death Hunt token to mark a person and used the Eye of Assassination to head over. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. Immediately after, a series of system notifications rang out. Before this, Yi Xian had already appeared several times. Therefore, he had already been targeted by the experts of the White Dragon Palace. Therefore, he needed some puppets to avoid being surrounded. 8 immortal murdering puppets. Yi Xian summoned 5 puppets at once. Of course, these were the immortal murdering seals that he had formed after killing 5 people in a row. Brat, it's you again. Who are you? The third stage half-step true monarch asked Yi Xian. I'm your ancestor. Yi Xian opened his eyes wide and started fighting. At this moment, there were 3 second-stage half-step true monarchs and 1 third-stage half-step true monarch at the entrance of the Bloodfire Hall. As soon as Yi Xian finished speaking, he was surrounded by them. Countless attacks swept toward Yi Xian. Eye of Assassination. 10 Immortal Slaying Sword Formation. Chapter 1867. Child's Play. The 3 second-stage half-step true kings suddenly formed a white formation that blocked the chaotic sword attacks of the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation. As for the third-stage half-step true king, he shuttled through the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation alone and rushed toward Yi Xian. You have some skills. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and quickly retreated. These 4 were all in human form. Yi Xian didn't know which one of them was a Zooist. Therefore he was waiting. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Within the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation, the 4 rapidly approached Yi Xian. When they were close enough, they all transformed. Haha, so all 3 of them are Zooists. This is great. Yi Xian opened his eyes wide and directly ordered Megatron to transform. Myriad Beasts Diagram. Suppress. What? The 3 were extremely shocked. All 3 of them lost 60% of their battle prowess. As a result, their defense within the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation was instantly destroyed. Puff 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 puff. Streaks of sword light pierced through their bodies, and streams of white blood spurted out from their bodies. Roar! The 3 white dragons were instantly heavily injured by the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation, and then killed by the Immortal Slaying Puppets. As a result, only the third stage half-step true king was left. Fortunately, there was a time difference when the 3 second-grade half-step true kings died. Yi Xian obtained more than 20 slaughter seals one after another. These slaughter seals were then used by Yi Xian to summon 3 immortal slaying puppets. There were 8 of them in total. Good boy, you must be a genius of the Black Dragon cult. Killing you can be considered as eliminating a good seedling of the Black Dragon cult. As the third stage half-step true king spoke, he attacked Yi Xian with all his strength, trying to kill him. What a joke! You want to kill me? The corners of Yi Xian's mouth slightly curled up. The Immortal Slaying Sword Formation was still active, and there were also 8 Immortal Slaying Puppets. It was impossible for this third-stage half-step true king to kill him. Moreover, there was also the old tree and the sky-breaking ape god assisting. Netherworld's soul-shattering strike. Startling 72 strikes. Immortal Slaying Sword Art. Black Flame Black Dragon Wave. Under the joint attack of Yi Xian's group, this third-stage half-step true king could only retreat and quickly escape the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation. However, if Yi Xian couldn't kill him during the duration of the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation, then he probably wouldn't have a chance. Looks, Isle's Blood-Slaying King. Then aren't the Blood Flame Hall's experts a bit too afraid of death? I've been helping them these past few days, but they're completely indifferent? At this moment, Yi Xian was extremely unhappy in his heart. He didn't expect the people from the main hall to be so cowardly. However, this was understandable because the White Dragon Hall was countless times more powerful than the Blood Flame Hall. Once they resisted, they would suffer a calamity. Therefore, they did not dare to move and could only watch from afar. Then, who is that person? Could he be a super genius nurtured by our Black Dragon sect? The upper echelons of the Blood Flame Hall all had the same thought. Yi Xian had already separated from the third stage half-step true king and was no longer fighting. The Immortal Slaying Sword Formation's duration was over, so Yi Xian was preparing to leave. However, just as Yi Xian was about to leave, a large number of powerful auras suddenly appeared in the distance. They were all at least half-step true kings. There were over 100 of them. Who's there? Yi Xian was startled. Over 100 half-step true kings? Where did they come from? Was it the White Dragon sect or the Black Dragon sect? After Xiao Chen took a closer look, he realized that the people who came this time were not friends but enemies. They were all from the White Dragon Palace. Not good. Retreat. Yi Xian's expression changed greatly as he prepared to leave. If so many people surrounded him, he would be in trouble. But at this moment, ding! Host has triggered a random mission. Defeat Bai Longzi, Yang Yun, and ensure that the Blood Flame Hall's casualties do not exceed 20%. A system notification suddenly sounded. Hearing this, Yi Xian trembled. What the hell was Bai Longzi, Yang Yun? However, he was certain that Bai Longzi Yang Yun should be among this group of White Dragon sect experts. Phew, I can actually use the time reversal skill this time. In that case, I don't need to leave immediately. Yi Xian sighed in relief. Last time, the random mission did not allow him to use the time reversal skill. However, this time he could, so he was not in a hurry. The third stage half-step True King seemed to have received a transmission from someone. He kept staring at Yi Xian and did not do anything. He and Yi Xian quietly waited for the group to arrive. Yi Xian saw that the leader was a white-haired youth in white clothes. He was a third-stage half-step True King. Behind him were several third-stage half-step True Kings, as well as a large number of first-stage and second-stage half-step True Kings. This guy's background was not small. You killed so many of my people with your own strength. What is your name? The white-haired youth asked as he looked at Yi Xian. And who are you? Yi Xian asked. As soon as he said this, a third-stage half-step True King stepped forward and shouted, How dare you? You don't even know Bai Longzi. Bai Longzi? What the hell? Yi Xian raised his eyebrows. Seeing his expression, an expert of the Blood Flame Hall immediately transmitted a message to him. Bai Longzi are the holy sons selected by White Dragon sect. They are geniuses who have the potential to become White Dragon emissaries in the future. White Dragon emissaries. Although Yi Xian did not know who told him this, it was not important. What was important was that he heard a familiar term. The white-haired middle-aged man who had chased after him that day was a White Dragon emissary. Later on, he was chased by the Black Dragon emissary. It was unknown whether he was still alive or not. After all, the target of the death pursuit order was too large, so the White Dragon emissary's death pursuit order disappeared. Speaking of which, it would not be easy for Yi Xian to defeat this Bai Longzi on a random mission. Yi Xian calmly looked at the other party. After a short pause, the latter said, I've already told you my identity. What is your name? Yi Liangchen. Yi Xian casually replied. After all, it was just a name. It was not much. Yi Liangchen. Bai Longzi narrowed his eyes. He had never heard of this name before. However, he was sure that Yi Xian's talent was much better than his. If Yi Xian was a member of the Black Dragon sect, why would the Black Dragon sect allow such a genius to roam freely? Thus, he felt that Yi Xian should not be a member of the Black Dragon sect. Why did you kill my people? Bai Longzi asked. Then why did you surround the Blood Flame Hall? Yi Xian continued asking. Chapter 1868. What arrogance! Yi Xian coldly snorted. Yang Yun didn't plan on wasting words with Yi Xian and directly said, No matter what, you killed so many of my people. I'm afraid you won't be able to leave today. If I want to leave, you can't stop me. Yi Xian replied. These words were true. After all, he had the Eye of the Void and the time reversal skill. At worst, he wouldn't accept this random mission. As long as he was a bit faster the next time, he wouldn't encounter this Bai Longzi. I don't know if you can leave or not, but I know that none of the people in the Blood Flame Hall will leave. After saying this, Yang Yun glanced at the experts of the Blood Flame Hall. At this time, Yi Xian suddenly thought of something. In this random mission, besides defeating Yang Yun, he also had to ensure the safety of the experts of the Blood Flame Hall. If more than 20% of them died, it would be useless even if he defeated Yang Yun. Then what do you want? Yi Xian asked. It's very simple. Fight with the White Dragon Guard I just selected, Yang Yun said. What if I win? Yi Xian asked. If you win you can challenge me. As long as you defeat me, they will be safe. If you lose, you have to become my White Dragon Guard. Yang Yun said. Challenge your guard first, then challenge you. Yi Zichen said. Yi Xian's lips slightly curled. This was exactly what he wanted. Since that was the case, then come. Seeing Yi Xian remain silent, Yang Yun glanced over and a second-stage half-step True King immediately walked out. This person was carefully selected by him. His aptitude was also very high. After cultivating for less than 5,000 years, he was already a first-stage half-step True King. As for himself, his aptitude was even more monstrous. After cultivating for less than 2,000 years, he was already a third-stage half-step True King. It was precisely because of this that he was chosen by the White Dragon Palace as a White Dragon Prince. In the future, he would be able to compete with the other White Dragons. If he succeeded, he would become the new White Dragon emissary of the White Dragon Palace. I still have some time left. If I hurry, I should be able to win. Yi Xian thought to himself as he gazed at this rank 1 half-step true king. Huff huff. At this time, the low-rank half-step true monarch suddenly attacked. Although Yi Xian had just killed a few second-stage half-step true kings, the strength of the person in front of him was not to be underestimated. He was definitely not someone to be trifled with. Even if the other party was only a stage 1 half-step true king, he still couldn't underestimate him. Kill. Yi Xian's eyes suddenly widened as he used the death hunt command to mark his opponent. Eye of Assassination. In the next moment, Yi Xian flashed behind his opponent. Unexpectedly, the other side reacted very quickly and turned around to fight back. Bang! In the air, waves of air billowed. Yi Xian's Black Dragon Flame Wave, which could instantly kill a stage 2 half-step true monarch, was actually dispersed by a single punch from a stage 1 half-step true monarch. So strong. As expected of the White Dragon Prince. The White Dragon guards that he picked out are not to be trifled with, Yi Xian thought to himself. Luckily, his immortal slaying puppets had come to lend him a hand. Bai Longzi could see that these immortal slaughtering puppets were not alive, so he didn't bother. Although this stage 1 half-step true monarch was strong, Yi Xian was not weak. Under their combined attacks, this stage 1 half-step true monarch fell in the end. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. When this system notification sounded, Yi Xian also let out a sigh of relief. Although he had condensed another 10 slaughter seals, his fusion time was about to end. He probably wouldn't be able to fight Bai Longzi. It seemed that he still had to use the time reversal skill. My lord, the White Dragon Guard is dead. After the stage 1 half-step true monarch died, a stage 3 half-step true monarch behind Bai Longzi said. I know. Bai Longzi narrowed his eyes. The White Dragon Guards that he had chosen had pretty good aptitudes. However, Yi Xian was only a stage 6 half-step true monarch. Yet, he was able to kill a half-step true monarch more than 10 realms above him. Interesting. I must find a chance to sign a master-servant blood contract with him. Bai Longzi thought to himself. He saw that Yi Xian's aptitude was too monstrous. Even he felt inferior. Therefore, he wanted to take Yi Xian as his servant. At that time, if he introduced Yi Xian to Bai Longzi, he would naturally rise in status. After all, what he signed was a master-servant blood contract. At this time, Yi Xian had already put away the corpse of the White Dragon Guard. Then, he turned to look at Bai Longzi. You just fought a battle and now another one. I'm afraid you've used up a lot of energy. I'll give you some time to recover. Bai Longzi suddenly said something that made Yi Xian's eyes light up. Give him time to recover? That was great. Yi Xian's fusion time was about to end. At that time, he wouldn't even be able to defeat a stage 1 half-step true monarch, let alone Bai Longzi. However, since he was being given time, it was the best thing that could happen. I want 7 days. Yi Xian said directly. 7 days? When Bai Longzi heard this, he was a little confused. However, he didn't ask further. This amount of time was nothing to him. All right, then I'll give you 7 days. Bai Longzi immediately agreed. Haha. Yi Xian grinned. He had already calculated that he could break through from stage 2 half-step true monarch to stage 4 half-step true monarch in 7 days. At that time, his strength would increase tenfold. Let's see who could stop him. Even Bai Longzi, who was chosen by the White Dragon Palace, wouldn't be able to stop him. However, just in case, Yi Xian decided to change his strength configuration. Unicorn's Descent. This skill doesn't seem to be of much use to me now. Why don't I just let the system retrieve it? Yi Xian thought to himself. Ding. Unicorn's Descent has been successfully retrieved. Ding. Immortal Eye Unicorn's bloodline has evolved once. Ding. Host has obtained 5 Devour points. This caused Yi Xian to be somewhat surprised. He didn't expect that after the Unicorn's Descent skill was retrieved, the Immortal Eye Unicorn's bloodline would evolve once again. Why was the Black Dragon Flame Blast so powerful? It was because it was a fire-based attack. The immortal I Qilin bloodline and the immortal divine phoenix bloodline both had the ability to increase the power of fire attacks. Moreover, the immortal I Qilin bloodline also had the Qilin true qi, which had the effect of burning everything under the heavens. This meant that Yi Xian's attacks would be even more terrifying in the future. After all, other than the unicorn's bloodline, unicorn's physique and unicorn's deterrence had also evolved. Not bad, not bad. Yi Xian nodded satisfactorily. He originally had 3 devour points in reserve. Now that he had 5 devour points, he had 8 devour points left. However, the slaughter seal needed 2 devour points to evolve once. With 8 devour points, he could only evolve 4 times. If I use all my devour points to strengthen the slaughter seal, although it can increase my strength by a lot, it might not be enough to deal with so many people. Chapter 1869. Wei Zhentian's magic treasure form is currently at level 2. If I use devouring points, I'll need 5 devouring points to upgrade it to level 3. Yi Xian squinted his eyes. Wei Zhentian's magic treasure form was too useful. Every time it leveled up, the power of all magic treasures would increase. It was too practical. If the soul-sucking bell is upgraded to level 3, I'll definitely be able to cause internal strife. Moreover, Yang Yun is a Bai Longzi. It'll be best if I can control him. I'll be able to gain a lot of benefits in the future. After thinking about it, Yi Xian made up his mind. Ding! Wei Zhentian's magic treasure form has leveled up to level 3. Yi Xian used 5 devouring points to upgrade Wei Zhentian's magic treasure form to level 3. With level 3 magic treasure form, the number of magic treasures had increased. Many new magic treasures had appeared, and their effects were greatly improved. Everything is ready. We're just waiting for the final push. Yi Xian glanced at Bai Longzi from afar, and then separated from his body. He's a beast tamer? Bai Longzi and the others were surprised when they saw this. They had always thought that the world destroyer ghostly dragon was a Xiaoist. Not only that, but they also felt Yi Xian's cultivation level. Level 2 half-true monarch. It turned out that the level 6 half-true monarch was just the world destroyer ghostly dragon. This guy must be taken in as a white dragon guard. If he's nurtured properly, he'll definitely be able to crush the other Bai Longzi. Yang Yun's eyes widened. The reason why he didn't make a move now was because he was afraid that Yi Xian would really be able to leave. If that happened, all his efforts would be in vain. Therefore, he wanted to make a move personally. When the time came, he would directly force Yi Xian to form a master-servant blood contract. As long as he succeeded, Yi Xian would be his servant. His servant's body would also listen to his orders. However, would things really go so smoothly? 2 days later. Ding! Host has made a breakthrough. Host is now a level 3 half-true monarch. Ding! Inferno Ghostly Lord, World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon, Wei Zhentian, Sky-Breaking Ape God have made a breakthrough. You are now a level 7 half-true monarch. When the surrounding people felt the change in Yi Xian's aura, they couldn't help but feel a little surprised. No wonder you need a few days. It turns out that you are already on the verge of a breakthrough. However, do you think that you can fight me just because you have a breakthrough? Bai Longzi, Yang Yun, coldly snorted. There's no point in talking too much. We'll talk about it in 5 days. Yi Xian replied directly. 5 days later, he would be able to make another breakthrough and become a 4th stage half-step true monarch. At that time, with Wei Zhentian's level 3 Dharma treasure, he would definitely be able to beat the crap out of Bai Longzi. Wei Zhentian's Dharma treasures had evolved twice. The number of Dharma treasures he could choose every day had increased to 6. Over the past few days, Yi Xian had been observing Wei Zhentian for any new Dharma treasures. However, the probability of those commonly used treasures appearing was too high. After a few days, he only saw a new treasure called the Demonic Flute of Lust. This magic treasure could stimulate a person's desires, which was much easier to control than the soul-sucking bell. Stimulating a person's desires and controlling them was naturally easier than the first one. Most importantly, this Dharma treasure appeared on the 7th day. At this time, Yi Xian's realm had already broken through from a 3rd stage half-step true monarch to a 4th stage half-step true monarch. The old tree and the others had even reached 8th stage half-step true monarch. Their strength had increased by dozens of times compared to 7 days ago. Little guy, do you think this won't kill you? After hearing these system notifications, Yi Xian's lips curled up slightly. This Bai Longzi could be said to have trapped himself in a cocoon of his own making. After sensing that Yi Xian's realm had changed again, everyone present was shocked again. It had only been a few days, and he had already made consecutive breakthroughs? Even for them, when they were at Yi Xian's realm, it took years for them to make breakthroughs. However, Yi Xian's unit of measurement was days, and it was even a few days. How terrifying! This fact made the desire in Bai Longzi's heart even stronger. Good fellow, you are quite capable. Bai Longzi opened his eyes wide and said, 7 days have passed. Are we going to start now? All right. Yi Xian stood up. He was already prepared. What I said before will not change. As long as you win against me, I will let go of the Blood Flame Hall. However, if you lose, you will become my White Dragon Guard. White Dragon Sun Yongyun emphasized again. If you win, I can even become your slave. Yi Xian said casually with a smile. Win? What kind of joke was this? 7 days ago, Yi Xian was still worried about whether he could defeat Bai Longzi. However, 7 days later, his plan had changed. Challenge Bai Longzi? No. Now, he was going to challenge Bai Longzi and the 100 half-step true kings behind him. Merge. Yi Xian did not say anything and directly merged with the world destroyer ghostly dragon. Bai Longzi's expression also darkened as he stepped forward. However, in the next moment, Wei Zhentian directly turned into a red flute, and a faint flute sound began to spread. Everyone was confused. Bai Longzi only felt his head become restless. Even with his strength as a third-stage half-step true king, he was actually affected. Not to mention the group of people behind him. The 103rd stage half-step true kings suddenly seemed to go crazy and began to attack the people around them. The first and second stage half-step true kings were all affected by the demonic fiery flute of desire and began to kill each other. As for the third stage half-step true kings, they were bitterly holding on. Death Hunt Command. Eye of Assassination. In the next moment, Yi Xian directly flashed behind a third-stage half-step true king and opened his mouth to release a black dragon flame wave. Boom! This third-stage half-step true king directly died. Coincidentally, he was the third-stage half-step true king that Yi Xian had not killed 7 days ago. Yi Xian's slaughter seals instantly filled up. 20 times slaughter status. 10 slaughter seals, all of them erupting. In the next moment, Yi Xian appeared behind Bai Longzi, Yang Yun. Black Dragon Flame Wave. Boom. In any case, Bai Longzi was chosen by the White Dragon Palace. His strength was naturally extraordinary, and he would not be so easily affected. He dodged this attack. However, he was about to suffer the attacks of countless people. Soul-absorbing bell. Control. Ding-ling. After Wei Zhentian activated these people's desires, he turned into the soul-absorbing bell. After the soul-absorbing bell was upgraded to the 2nd level, it had the ability to control people. Therefore, Yi Xian had pawned off the Eye of Soul. Now that the soul-absorbing bell was at the 3rd level, the success rate of control would be greatly increased. Ding. Control successful. Ding. Control successful. System notifications rang out one after another. In an instant, more than 60 half-step true kings were controlled by Yi Xian. Ding-ling. Chapter 1870. Clink. When the 3rd clink was heard, all the experts of the White Dragon Palace, except for Bai Longzi and Yang Yun, were controlled by Yi Xian. Among them, there were even a few third-stage half-step true kings. At this moment, Bai Longzi was surrounded by this group of people and Yi Xian. How did you do that? Yang Yun was extremely shocked. Even he would not be able to do this. You don't need to know. As soon as Yi Xian finished speaking, his figure suddenly disappeared and reappeared behind Yang Yun. World-destroying Dragon Claw. A dragon claw suddenly appeared in the air and restrained Yang Yun. Too naive. Yang Yun opened his eyes wide and his body rapidly enlarged. It turned out that he was also a Xiaoyao and a white dragon. Moreover, he was a rare rainbow white dragon in the White Dragon clan and had rainbow scales on his body. Unfortunately, his transformation into his true form was equivalent to walking right into a trap or forcing himself into a dead end. Myriad Beasts Diagram. In an instant, Yang Yun's combat strength decreased by 70%. The Myriad Beasts diagram, in its 3rd stage form, could reduce the combat strength of beasts by 70%. Yang Yun's current strength was probably even weaker than that third-stage half-step true king killed by Yi Xian. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Yi Xian quickly cut Yang Yun's body in half and severely injured him. Then, Wei Zhentian transformed into the ardent desire demonic flute and finally the soul-absorbing bell. Clink! Roar! Yang Yun roared at the sky. At this moment, he was completely controlled by Yi Xian. After all, there were so many half-step true kings around. They gathered their immortal energy and trapped Yang Yun. Yang Yun could not move and could only let the soul-absorbing bell attack his soul continuously. Clink! Control successful. After being shaken several times by the soul-absorbing bell, Yang Yun finally could not resist and was controlled by Yi Xian. What by Longzi of the White Dragon Palace? Didn't he still become Yi Xian's slave? Greetings, Master. Yang Yun transformed into his human form and respectfully greeted Yi Xian. Yi Xian nodded in satisfaction. The soul-absorbing bell, a level 3 transcendent artifact, was indeed extremely powerful. If Yi Xian had used the 5 devouring points to strengthen his immortal slaying bloodline, he would have killed Yang Yun at most, but he would not have been able to obtain so many subordinates. All of you, bring me the items, then go out and collect the dragon scales of annihilation and the dragon bones of annihilation. Yi Xian immediately gave the order to the 100 half-step monarchs. The reason he had subdued so many people was naturally to make use of them. With so many half-step true kings going out to collect the world annihilation dragon scales, the efficiency would definitely be very high. Of course, what Yi Xian was most concerned about was Yang Yun's interspatial ring. No matter what, Yang Yun was the White Dragon's son chosen by the White Dragon Palace. Naturally, he had received many benefits, right? When Yi Xian finished looking through Yang Yun's interspatial ring, he was a little disappointed and said, "Why is there no dragon scale of annihilation? And why are there so few natural treasures?" There is one condition for being chosen as a white dragon, and that is to not accept favors from others. All cultivation resources must be obtained by oneself. However, the White Dragon Palace gave me a bottle of white dragon blood, Yang Yun said. White dragon blood. Is this it? Yi Xian took out a bottle of white liquid from his interspatial ring. This is the blood of the White Dragon Palace's ancestral master. After refining it, one's physique will greatly improve, and one will have the ability to fight above one's level. Yang Yun nodded. The dragon scales of annihilation and the dragon bones of annihilation were useless to him, so he did not have them in his interspatial ring. Yi Xian nodded slightly. At this moment, he focused his attention on the group of experts from the Bloodfire Hall. The soul-sucking bell earlier had not only controlled these 100 half-step true kings, but also the people from the Bloodfire Hall. The entire Bloodfire Hall, including tens of thousands of elites, had been controlled. At this moment, Yi Xian put this group of people into his interspatial ring and searched through their interspatial rings. The total wealth of these people was a huge number. Unfortunately, what Yi Xian lacked now was not natural treasures, but time. However, if all the dragon scales of annihilation were added together, there were actually more than 200,000 pieces. With another 300,000 pieces, the world annihilation ghostly dragon could enter the next stage. Of course, these 200,000 dragon scales of annihilation ghostly dragon had also increased the world annihilation ghostly dragon strength by 40%. In short, this battle had been very fruitful. Ding! Host has completed the random mission. Reward: Space-Time Bloodline Evolution 1 time. After some delay, the reward of the random mission finally arrived. Not bad, the space-time bloodline has evolved again. Yi Xian nodded satisfactorily. Now, 1 day in the outside world was equivalent to 280 years in the interspatial ring. Speaking of which, the half-step true kings had been sent out by Yi Xian to collect the dragon scales of annihilation. Even the experts from the Bloodfire Hall had done the same. Yi Xian used the soul-sucking bell to search the souls of the Bloodfire Hall's hallmasters and of course, by Longzi, Yang Yun. After searching their souls, Yi Xian had a better understanding of the Bloodfire Hall and Yang Yun's background. The strongest person in the Bloodfire Hall was only a stage 3 half-step true king. Now that Yi Xian had collected all of their dragon scales of annihilation ghostly dragon, there was no use for them anymore. As for the higher-ups of the Bloodfire Hall, Yi Xian already knew about them. However, what Yi Xian was concerned about now was Yang Yun's identity. This guy was the son of the Baiyang City's city lord. His father was a stage 6 half-step true king expert. I can pretend to be Yang Yun's new white dragon guard and sneak into Baiyang City. Then, I can ask Yang Yun to ask his father for a dragon scale of annihilation. Yi Xian planned in his heart. Although Yang Yun did not have a single dragon scale of annihilation, his father did. The Baiyang City's city lord was in charge of the White Dragon Palace's acquisition point in Baiyang City. This meant that the other party definitely had a large number of dragon scales of annihilation ghostly dragon scales or dragon bones of annihilation ghostly dragon. This plan was very good. Yi Xian immediately called back all the half-step true kings and told them to follow him to Baiyang City. Although Yang Yun was only a stage 3 half-step true king, his true battle strength had already surpassed that of a stage 4 half-step true king, or even a stage 5 half-step true king. It was also because of this that the city lord of Baiyang City, Yang Tian, was not afraid that Yang Yun would encounter any danger. After all, he knew the situation of the nearby factions. There were not many stage 4 half-step true kings, let alone stage 5 half-step true kings. How could Yang Yun be in danger when he had so many experts with him? What a joke! Yi Xian immediately ordered one of them to transform into his true form and fly towards Baiyang City. As the young city lord of Baiyang City and the Bai Longzi of the White Dragon Hall, Yang Yun's journey was naturally smooth. He quickly teleported back to Baiyang City. The young city lord is back. I heard that the young city lord went to deal with the Bloodfire Hall. Judging from their expressions, the Bloodfire Hall should have been executed. Chapter 1871. The White Dragon Hall doesn't seem to have any use for the World Destruction Dragon Scale. Are they hoarding it to prevent the Black Dragon sect from obtaining it? Isn't that obvious? The reason why the Black Dragon sect is so powerful is because they have fused with the World Destruction Dragon Scale. However, we can also fuse with the World Destruction Dragon Scale now. What advantage does the Black Dragon sect have? Do you think it's just the World Destruction Dragon Scale and World Destruction Dragon Bone? I heard that there's also the World Destruction Dragon Blood. Only the combination of Dragon Scale, Dragon Bone, and Dragon Blood can unleash greater power. World Destruction Dragon Blood? Why haven't I heard of it before? Only the geniuses of the Black Dragon sect can obtain the World Destruction Dragon Blood. I've only heard of it before. The people in Baiyang City began to discuss. These were all heard by Yi Xian. There's also a type of World Destruction Dragon Blood in the Black Dragon sect. If the World Destruction Ghost Dragon were to refine it, I wonder what effect it would have. Yi Xian was a little curious. Dragon Scale and Dragon Bone were scattered everywhere, but he had never obtained the Dragon Blood. Soon, they arrived at the City Lord Mansion. Master, I'll report to my father. After entering the City Lord Mansion, Yang Yun sent a message to Yi Xian. All right, do as I said before. Yi Xian nodded and left with a rank 3 half-step true king. The plan he was talking about was to have Yang Yun Xian report the matter of the Blood Flame Hall and say that they had already destroyed them. At the same time, Yi Xian did not plan to reveal the higher-ups of the Blood Flame Hall. He would let Yang Yun say that they were in contact with the Black Dragon Envoy. Then, Yi Xian would ask for the World Destruction Dragon Scale from the City Lord of Baiyang City. He would say that he met a super genius on the way and signed a master and servant blood contract. This would dispel the City Lord's doubts. Yang Yun left and went to find his father. However, his father, Yang Tian, was currently receiving an important guest. Father, I'm back. Yang Yun said to Yang Tian. Good, how did it go this time? Yang Tian asked with a smile. Yang Yun nodded and said, the Blood Flame Hall is indeed a branch of the Black Dragon cult. However, the Hall Master of the Blood Flame Hall doesn't know where the superior branch is. He is in contact with the Black Dragon Envoy. Oh, if that's the case, then forget it. It's better to destroy them. Yang Tian did not have the slightest doubt. After he finished speaking, he turned his head to look at an old man beside him. This is Deputy City Lord Zhuokong of Flowing Light City. He heard that you have become Bai Longzi, so he came to congratulate you. Greetings, Senior Zhua. Yang Yun cupped his fists respectfully. Young City Lord, you are indeed a man of striking appearance. Here is a top-grade dragon bone. Please accept it. As Zhuokong spoke, he took out a palm-sized dragon bone from his interspatial ring. Such a large piece of dragon bone, and it was of the highest quality. A conservative estimate was equivalent to 100,000 Armageddon dragon scales. For those who could integrate with the World Annihilation Dragon Scale, it was nothing. However, for those who could not integrate with the World Annihilation Dragon Scale, it was a priceless treasure. Because they did not fuse with the World Annihilation Dragon Scale, they could only comprehend the World Annihilation attack from it. With such a large piece of top-grade dragon bone, the comprehension speed would definitely far surpass 100,000 Armageddon dragon scales. Yang Tian and Yang Yun were both white dragons, so they could not integrate with the World Annihilation Dragon Scale and could only comprehend the World Annihilation attack. This piece of top-grade dragon bone was just right for them. Thank you, Qian. Yang Yun's eyes lit up and was about to take it. But at this moment, Zhuo Kang's hand suddenly trembled. He looked at Yang Yun in surprise and felt that something was wrong. Deputy City Lord Zhuo, what's wrong? Yang Tian looked at Zhuo Kang strangely. Could it be that the other party went back on his word? I don't know if I sensed wrongly. City Lord Yang, the young City Lord's soul is a little strange. It seems to be controlled by someone. Zhuo Kang raised his eyebrows. He was a 7th grade half-step true king, one realm higher than Yang Tian, a 6th grade half-step true king. Moreover, it was so close so he was discovered. When Yang Tian heard this, his body could not help but tremble. Yang Yun, controlled by someone? How could it be? How could it be Yang Yun's strength? Yang Tian was in disbelief. He went forward to check, and sure enough, there was a problem. Not good. Yang Yun's expression changed drastically. He did not expect to expose his secret in a moment of excitement. Before he could react, Yang Tian and Zhuo Kang restrained him, one on the left and one on the right. Yang Yun, who was controlled by the soul-sucking bell, quickly sent a voice transmission to Yi Xian, informing Yi Xian of the situation. At this moment, in a corner of the City Lord Mansion. What? Yi Xian was shocked. He did not expect someone to be proficient in the soul and discover something wrong with Yang Yun. The next moment. Ding! Yang Yun escaped from control. A system notification sounded in his mind. Yang Yun actually escaped from control. A similar thing had happened before. At that time, when they were still in the mortal world, the Crimson Blood Corpse King's strength skyrocketed after being glared at by the Eye of Death. At that time, the Crimson Blood Corpse King also escaped from Yi Xian's control. Of course, the current problem was that Yi Xian and Wei Zhentian's cultivation were too low. Wei Zhentian was only an 8th-stage half-step true monarch, 14 stages away from a 3rd-stage half-step true monarch. Moreover, his cultivation was higher than Yang Yun's. Therefore, Yi Xian did not feel anything. However, he did not expect to be discovered so quickly. Since he was exposed, Yang Yun should immediately bring people over. Since that was the case, then let's have a great battle. As expected, when Yi Xian jumped into the sky, he discovered 3 figures flying towards him. One of them was Yang Yun, who had just escaped the control of the soul-sucking bell. As for the other 2, their auras were much stronger than Yang Yun's. Father, it's him. Yang Yun's figure paused as he pointed at Yi Xian. Brat, it was you who controlled my son? Yang Tian looked at Yi Xian and slowly asked. He did not understand how Yi Xian, a 4th-stage half-step true monarch, was able to control Yang Yun, a 3rd-stage half-step true monarch. One must know that the difference between them was close to 2 major stages. So what? Yi Xian coldly snorted. Yang Tian narrowed his eyes. When Yang Yun woke up earlier, he had sent him a voice transmission. Yi Xian's aptitude was higher than Yang Yun's, and he had left him in the dust. If he could be controlled, the Yang family would soar. Brat, you really have guts. You actually dared to attack my son. You're courting death. Yang Tian's eyes flashed as he directly attacked. He was a 6th-stage half-step true monarch, much stronger than Yang Yun. The moment he attacked, he had the momentum to topple mountains and overturn seas. However, Yi Xian was already prepared and quickly flashed away. In the next moment, a change occurred in the City Lord Manor. Boom, boom, boom. Those half-step true monarchs controlled by Yi Xian started to attack. Not good, father. He's also controlling the 100 half-step true monarchs that I took away. Chapter 1872. Yang Yun had just regained consciousness and forgot that the others were also being controlled by Yi Xian in his anger. Fortunately, The people controlled by Yi Xian were not of high realms. They were at most stage 3 half-step true monarchs and would not be able to cause much trouble. Yi Xian did not expect these people to cause any trouble. He just could not let them stay here. At this moment, Yang Tian was already charging towards Yi Xian. Soul-absorbing bell. Yi Xian suddenly used blink and dodge to the side. Then, he quickly turned Wei Zhentian into the soul-absorbing bell. Ding! In an instant, the low-level people in the City Lord Manor were controlled by Yi Xian and jumped into the air. What kind of treasure is that? It can control so many people? Yang Tian and the other two were shocked. It seemed that they had encountered a troublesome person this time. City Lord Yang, I will help you. Zhua Kong shouted coldly and also charged towards Yi Xian. A stage 6 half-step true monarch and a stage 7 half-step true monarch were already a threat to Yi Xian. This guy has never appeared in Yang Yun's memory. He is probably from somewhere else. His aura is even stronger than the City Lord of Baiyang City. He is probably a stage 7 half-step true monarch. Yi Xian thought in his heart as he directly used the time reversal skill. Time reversal was half a day before they returned to Baiyang City. This way, after half a day of travel, time reversal would be restored. However, this time, Yi Xian was not going to let Yang Yun go just like that. He wanted to wait for a while. Ding! Host has broken through. Host is now a stage 5 half-step true monarch. Ding! Inferno Ghostly Lord, World-Destroying Ghostly Dragon, Wei Zhentian, and Sky-Breaking Ape God have broken through. Host is now a stage 9 half-step true monarch. Now, Yi Xian had the strength to kill his way into the City Lord Manor. Wei Zhentian's realm increased and so did the soul-absorbing bell's effect. However, while Yi Xian was waiting for his breakthrough, he discovered a new treasure. This treasure was called the Gemini Heart Linking Pendant. It could allow Yi Xian to connect with someone. After the connection was made, both sides would experience a corresponding increase or decrease in level according to the difference in level. Currently, Yi Xian was a stage 5 half-step true monarch. If he were to connect with someone of a higher level, his strength would increase. On the other side, the person he was connecting to had a higher realm than him, so after the connection, his realm would drop. This Gemini heart-linking pendant didn't specify how much of an improvement it can provide. Whatever, let's try it out first. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and made Wei Zhentian transform into the Gemini Heartbind pendant. Its target was the 3rd stage half-step true monarch, Yang Yun. Swish! 2 thin red lines shot out from Wei Zhentian's Gemini heart-linking pendant and shone on Yi Xian and evil cold Yang Yun. To be precise, they shone on their hearts. In the next moment, Yi Xian felt his strength skyrocket. In the blink of an eye, he actually broke through to the 6th stage half-step true monarch realm. On the other hand, Yang Yun had dropped from rank 3 half-step true monarch to rank 2 half-step true monarch. Yi Xian had risen a level. Yang Yun had dropped a level. F***CK. What an awesome treasure. Yi Xian opened his eyes wide. With this treasure, he could quickly reduce the gap between him and his enemy. However, this Gemini heart-linking pendant had a distance restriction. If the opponent was too far away from Wei Zhentian, the heart-linking effect would disappear. At that time, the two's realms would return to normal. Not only that, the heart-linking effect also had a success rate. Increasing one's luck value would increase the success rate. This was the first time Yi Xian used it, and he succeeded on the first try because his luck was pretty good. I succeeded on this Yang Yun, but I don't know if it will work on the 6th stage half-step true monarch realm lord of Baiyang City. Moreover, there was also that 7th stage half-step true monarch. I wonder if he's still in Baiyang City, Yi Xian thought to himself. No matter what, he had to give it a try. However, this time, he decided not to bring Yang Yun with him. Instead, he would head to Baiyang City alone. If I don't bring Yang Yun with me, I won't be exposed. At that time, I'll definitely teach those two a lesson. Yi Xian's eyes flickered as he headed to Baiyang City alone. Soon, he arrived at his destination. At this time, his cultivation level was higher than when he was in Baiyang City. Moreover, he had Wei Zhentian maintain the form of the Gemini heart-linking pendant. This way, as long as he did not transform into another form, he would be able to maintain it. At this time, Yi Xian had already entered Baiyang City once again. After entering, he went straight to the city lord's mansion. This time, because he came alone, no one entered the city lord's mansion. Therefore, no one knew what was going on inside. I'll pretend that the 7th stage half-step true monarch is still here. When the time comes, I'll use the Gemini heart-linking pendant. As long as it succeeds, I'll be able to kill them. Thinking of this, Xian directly summoned the old tree, the world-annihilating ghost dragon, and the others. Then he merged with them. An eerie aura instantly spread out. When the experts in the city lord's mansion felt this aura, their bodies trembled. Immediately, a few half-step true monarchs leaped into the air. However, as soon as they appeared, they were directly killed by Xian's black dragon flame wave. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. Ding! Host has condensed 1 slaughter seal. System notifications rang out one after another. Xian had condensed 10 slaughter seals in an instant. Then, the slaughter seal increased by 20 times. Who is it? Following the death of the half-step true monarch, the experts in the city lord's mansion appeared one after another. Those who were not 5th stage half-step true monarchs were directly killed by Xian. In an instant, a large number of immortal slaughtering puppets with 8 slaughter seals appeared in the air. The immortal slaughtering puppets summoned by Xian were at least 3rd stage half-step true monarchs. With so many puppets added together, they were comparable to a few 5th stage half-step true monarchs. With so many people dying in the city lord's mansion, the city lord of Jianghu City naturally couldn't sit still and immediately rushed out. Behind him was the old man from that day, the 7th stage half-step true monarch, Zhuokong. Is that old man still here? Good. Xian's gaze landed on Zhuokong. Right now, he wasn't afraid of the city lord of Jianghu City, a 6th stage half-step true monarch. Instead, he was afraid of Zhuokong. It was obvious that Zhuokong belonged to a faction that was even more powerful than Jianghu City. However, this didn't matter. Brat, who are you? Jianghu City Lord Yang Tian asked. The last time he saw Xian, it was already a matter of time going back, so he didn't remember. The person who will kill you. Xian didn't say anything else and directly ordered Wei Zhentian to attack. Whoosh! Whoosh! 2 thin red lines shot out from the Gemini heart-link pendant and flew towards Xian and Zhuokong respectively. As long as the connection was successful, everyone here today wouldn't be enough for Xian to look at. Chapter 1873. Zhuokong was slightly surprised. He wanted to dodge the red line, but he was unable to do so. However, nothing strange happened. Ding! Connection failed. A system notification rang out in Xian's mind. As expected, he did not succeed due to the huge gap between their realms. Although the Gemini heart-link pendant did not have any restrictions, it was the same as the magistrate's brush. It could only be used on the same person once a day. Therefore, he could not connect to Zhuokong today. Since he could not do it, he could only try others. The city lord of Jianghu City, Yang Tian. Whoosh! Whoosh! Another 2 red lines shot out and shone on Xian and the city lord of Jianghu City. The city lord of Jianghu City was only a stage 6 half-step true king, 1 realm lower than Zhuokong. Therefore, his success rate would be higher than Zhuokang's. However, Xian's luck was not very good this time. He still did not succeed. Is it not working? Again. Xian narrowed his eyes and focused his attention on another person. This person was a stage 5 half-step true king, a consecrator of the city lord manor. Ding! Connection failed. Unfortunately, he still failed. What a tragedy. Delete the file and try again. Xian was slightly displeased. With a thought, he used the time reversal skill and returned to the time before he arrived at Jianghu City. This way, the time reversal skill would be off cooldown when he was on his way. If it did not work, he could just try again. Soon, Xian charged into the city lord manor and used the Gemini heart-link pendant on Zhuokong and the city lord of Jianghu City. However, he still failed. I don't believe it. Again. Xian did not believe that his luck would be so bad. If he tried a few more times, he would definitely succeed. However, on the 3rd try, Zhuokong failed due to the difference in realms. However, the city lord of Jianghu City succeeded. Ding! Connection successful. When the system notification rang out, Xian felt that his realm had increased. The world-extinguishing ghostly dragon, which was originally a 9th stage half-step true monarch, had now become a first-stage true monarch. As for the Baiyang City's city master, his cultivation dropped from rank 6 half-step true king to rank 5 half-step true king. It seemed like it was only a drop in cultivation level, but don't forget, Yi Xian had increased his cultivation level by 1, so the gap between the two of them had shrunk by 2. Haha, I've finally succeeded. See if I don't kill you all. Yi Xian's eyes widened. His aura surged as he charged towards Zhuokong. The Gemini Heartlink pendant had a flaw, and that was that there was a distance between the connection. Furthermore, if one party died, then the connection would automatically be severed, and the realm would also be restored. Therefore, Yi Xian could not let Yang Tian die. He had to kill Zhuokong first. Eye of Assassination. Black Dragon Flame Wave. In an instant, Yi Xian flashed behind Zhuokong and spat out a mouthful of scorching dragon breath. Boom! Zhuokong was unable to react in time and was hit head-on. However, his strength was not weak and he was able to receive the Black Dragon Flame Wave head-on. The Black Dragon Flame Wave that was infused with a large amount of Armageddon attacks was powerful enough to instantly kill a rank 6 half-step true king. Although Zhuokong did not die after being hit, he was heavily injured. Yi Xian used this opportunity to attack. However, at this moment, the city master of Baiyang City's attack arrived. If not for the connection, I would have killed you first. Yi Xian glanced at the city master of Baiyang City before flashing towards him again. Brat, I want you to die. Zhuokong was furious. He directly took out a token from his bosom. In the next moment, the token emitted a dazzling white light. Then, as Zhuokong swung his right fist, an incomparably powerful attack attacked Yi Xian. What a powerful attack! Yi Xian opened his eyes wide. This time, he was unable to dodge and was hit by the attack. Bang! Half of the World Destroyer Ghost Dragon's body was turned into dust. Fortunately, its dragon heart was not damaged. Otherwise it would be troublesome. Yi Xian, who had the immortal phoenix bloodline, could recover as long as he was not killed instantly. What? Zhuokong was shocked. He quickly used the energy of the token to wrap himself up and flew into the distance. This speed was unprecedented. In the blink of an eye, he reached the horizon. Yi Xian did not think that he would be able to catch up. I will remember this grudge. Once I deal with the others, I will hunt you down. Yi Xian thought to himself. Zhuokong was already marked by his death hunt command. Even if he fled to the ends of the earth, he would not be able to escape death. Right now, there was no one in the city master's mansion who could stop him. He would deal with Zhuokong first. Eye of Assassination. Yi Xian disappeared again and appeared behind the city master of Baiyang City, who had been demoted from rank 6 half-step true king to rank 5 half-step true king. Swish! With a crisp sound, the city master of Baiyang City's hands were crushed. The yin and yang ring also fell into Yi Xian's hands. The city master of Baiyang City was the person in charge of the acquisition of Baiyang City by the White Dragon Palace. Therefore, he might have a White Dragon token. This White Dragon token could summon the phantom of an expert. Based on past experience, it could summon at least a rank 8 half-step true king. The phantom of a rank 8 half-step true king was comparable to a rank 7 half-step true king. Therefore, Yi Xian needed to get rid of the city master of Baiyang City first. Next, it was Yi Xian's free time. He first killed all the rank 5 half-step true kings and rank 4 half-step true kings before summoning a large number of immortal slaughtering puppets. At the same time, his right dragon claw was grabbing Yang Tian, who had been demoted. When the time was right, he would kill Yang Tian. The city master's mansion was covered in a storm of blood. Countless people fled. However, Yi Xian's target was only the half-step true kings. As for the true lords, he could not be bothered with them. Soon, all the half-step true kings in the city master's mansion were killed. This time, Yi Xian's harvest was huge. He obtained a total of 400,000 World Destruction Dragon Scales, which allowed the World Destruction Ghostly Dragon to enter the next stage. The 8th stage actually required 2 million World Destruction Dragon Scales. It was simply too terrifying. However, from the beginning until now, the World Destruction Ghostly Dragon's strength had increased by 7 times. This was an undeniable fact. Who are you? Yang Tian, the city master of Baiyang City, who was being held in Yi Xian's hand, could not help but ask when he saw all the experts in his mansion being killed. Who I am is not important. What's important is that you are working for the White Dragon Palace. When Yi Xian finished speaking, a popping sound was heard. The city master of Baiyang City's body was crushed, and he died just like that. In Yi Xian's opinion, the White Dragon Palace was not a good organization. Moreover, Yi Xian was now considered a member of the Black Dragon sect. He should be fighting for the Black Dragon sect. Chapter 1874. Due to the death of the Baiyang City Lord, Yi Xian's realm had also decreased. However, this did not matter as he would be able to break through in a few days. After searching his soul, Yi Xian found out Zhuo Kang's identity. He was the deputy city lord of Flowing Light City. As for the city lord of Flowing Light City, he was an 8th grade half-step true king and also a person in charge of the White Dragon Palace. In the Baiyang City Lord's universe ring, there was a White Dragon token. If he had crushed it, the expert that would have been summoned would have been the city lord of Flowing Light City. Since he was also a member of the White Dragon Palace, Yi Xian would not hold back. Zhuo Kang is a 7th grade half-step true king and has extraordinary strength, so he should be able to return to Flowing Light City much faster than me. By then, they will definitely organize their forces and kill their way back to Baiyang City. Yi Xian thought to himself. Due to time reversal, the young city lord of Baiyang City, Yang Yun, did not return to Baiyang City. Furthermore, he was a newly chosen White Dragon Prince, so Flowing Light City wanted to curry favor with him. However, they did not expect that White Dragon Prince Yang Yun would not return, but a murderous god. Therefore, they had to return to Baiyang City as soon as possible to prevent anything from happening to White Dragon Prince. During the chase, Yi Xian sensed carefully and found that Zhuo Kang had stopped. According to the map, Yi Xian guessed that Zhuo Kang had returned to Flowing Light City and was beginning to organize his forces. I will break through soon. By then, I will use the Gemini Heart-linking pendant. I don't believe that Flowing Light City will not be destroyed. Yi Xian was very confident. Since he had the time reversal skill now, even if he did not succeed, it would not be a bad idea to probe the other party's combat strength. Ding, the host has broken through and is now a 6th grade half-step true lord. Ding, Yanming Ghost Lord, world-destroying ghostly dragon, Wei Zhentian, and sky-breaking ape god have broken through and are now 1st grade true lords. After going through so many things, Old Tree and the others finally broke through to the true lord realm. Moreover, their strength had also undergone an earth-shattering change. Back in the day, they could only fight opponents who were 6 or 7 levels higher than them. But now, after Yi Xian and the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon merged, they could actually fight opponents who were more than 20 levels higher than them. He was a monster. Not to mention Bai Longzi, even if Yang Yun's aptitude was 10 times better, he still couldn't compare to Yi Xian. Soon, Yi Xian came to the vicinity of Flowing Light City. Coincidentally, Zhuo Kang had also organized a group of people and was preparing to head to Baiyang City to rescue them. Tiske, there's actually a 7th stage half-step true king, 5 6th stage half-step true kings, and more than 10 5th stage half-step true kings. This strength is truly formidable. Yi Xian licked his lips. Back then, he hadn't been able to kill Zhuo Kang. Now that his cultivation had increased and there were so many half-step true kings present, he didn't believe that the Gemini Heart-linking pendant would fail. If all of them failed, he could just turn back time and try again. World Devastator Ghost Dragon. Come on, kill. Yi Xian widened his eyes. He merged with the World Devastator Ghostly Dragon and charged forward. Eye of Assassination. In the next instant, Yi Xian flashed behind a 5th stage half-step true king and opened his mouth wide. Black Dragon Flame Wave. Although he hadn't used the Gemini Heart-linking pendant yet, his strength was enough to kill a person in a sneak attack. Ding. Host's killing intent has increased. A system notification rang out. Yi Xian had successfully killed a 5th stage half-step true king. At the same time, the number of killing seals stacked up to 10. 20 times the killing effect. Yi Xian's eyes flickered. His aura instantly soared. In the next instant, the Gemini Heart-linking pendant also appeared. Last time, Yi Xian had used the Gemini Heart-linking pendant for the first time in battle, so he had neglected 1 point. This time, Yi Xian chose to connect with a 5th stage half-step true king first. Ding. Connection successful. The system notification rang out again. After merging with the World Devastator Ghostly Dragon, Yi Xian's cultivation level rose to a second stage true monarch. The Gemini heart-linking pendant emitted a red light once again. This time, its target was the sixth stage half-step true kings. Ding! Connection failed. Ding! Connection failed. A series of system notifications rang out in Yi Xian's mind. Although he didn't know how the Gemini heart-linking pendant increased one's cultivation level, it was already very good if it could reduce the cultivation level of a sixth-stage half-step true king. However, it didn't seem to work. While everyone was still in shock, the Gemini heart-linking pendant had already scanned everyone. Not a single one had succeeded. Since that was the case, then it was time to kill. Black Dragon Flame Wave. Yi Xian opened his mouth again and spat out a mouthful of dragon breath, instantly killing a second person. The number of killing seals increased to 10 once again. Immortal Slaying Sword Formation. Activate. The moment the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation was activated, an Immortal Slaying puppet appeared. Those weaker fifth-stage true kings instantly turned into corpses and fell from the sky. However, the number of Immortal Slaying puppets that appeared corresponded to the number of Immortal Slaying puppets that appeared. With so many Immortal Slaying puppets, coupled with the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation and Yi Xian, the others had no way of resisting. Even the seventh-stage half-step true kings couldn't do anything. At most, they could only protect themselves and then kill their way out of the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation. Sure enough, under the siege of Yi Xian and the others, those sixth-stage half-step true kings also died. Yi Xian used the killing seal formed after one of them died to activate the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation again. This time, it was the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation with 10 seals. At this time, only Zhuokong and that seventh-stage half-step true king were left. Oh, there was also that fifth-stage half-step true king. After all, he was connected to Yi Xian. If he died, Yi Xian's cultivation level would recover. He also didn't know why he hadn't been killed. Eye of Assassination. The two of them risked their lives and escaped from the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation. However, Yi Xian had already marked them with the Death Hunt command and instantly flashed behind them. I knew you were coming. The other seventh-stage half-step true king growled and turned around to strike with his palm. So what? Yi Xian's lips curled up slightly. The world-destroying ghostly dragon's body had long been covered with a layer of special energy. This palm strike was absorbed by the space-time bloodline's extreme space shield. The space-time bloodline had evolved a few times, so the extreme space shield's absorption ability had greatly increased. In addition, the power of the feedback attack had also increased, reaching 5 times its original power. Boom! The palm strike with 5 times its original power slammed into the seventh-stage half-step true king, instantly injuring him. Not good. Zhuokang's expression changed greatly. He couldn't even protect himself in the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation, let alone protect another seventh-stage half-step true king. This was a good opportunity. Yi Xian naturally wouldn't let it go. He quickly flashed behind the other and opened his mouth. Eye of Assassination. Black Dragon Flame Wave. Chapter 1875. With just one blow, the 7th grade half-step true king was blown to smithereens. Now that this person was dead, Zhuokong was next. City Lord, save me! Zhuokong shouted, his face deathly pale. The commotion here was so great that the City Lord's residents had already heard it, but had not come yet. Even if the City Lord comes, you will die today. Yi Xian's eyes widened, determined to kill Zhuokong. But at this moment, a powerful aura descended, directly shattering the flying swords that were heading towards Zhuokong. The City Lord of Flowing Light City had arrived. 8th grade half-step true king. Yi Xian raised his brows. At this time, even an 8th grade half-step true king would not be able to do anything to him. However, he was not afraid of the City Lord of Flowing Light City, but the white dragon token in his hand. The City Lord of Flowing Light City was an 8th grade half-step true king, and the white dragon token could summon the phantom of a 1st grade true king. The phantom of a 1st grade true king was most likely more powerful than a 9th grade half-step true king. After all, there was a large realm between them. If the phantom of a 1st grade true king were to descend, Yi Xian would have to leave, but at this time, Yi Xian wanted to give it a try. Who are you? How dare you kill the experts of the City Lord's residence? The City Lord of Flowing Light City asked sternly. If I kill you, can you still be considered an expert? Yi Xian sneered. I don't need a reason to kill the people of the White Dragon Palace. So you are a remnant of the Black Dragon sect. If such talent grows up, you will certainly be a great danger. Today I will kill you. The city lord of Flowing Light City did not waste any more words and directly charged towards Yi Xian. The immortal execution sword formation was nothing in his eyes. However, Yi Xian's current defense was not only the immortal execution sword formation, but also the more than 10 immortal puppets. The effect of the Gemini Heartlink pendant is still there. Let's try the city lord. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. The next moment, 2 thin red lines shot out, landing on Yi Xian and the city lord of Flowing Light City. Ding! Connection failed. It was a pity that the connection failed. If it was successful, the city lord of Flowing Light City would at least be reduced by 1 realm, perhaps even 2. At that time, he would be at his mercy. The city lord of Flowing Light City did not know what method Yi Xian had used, but he immediately launched an attack. With his current realm, he didn't need to use the White Dragon token to deal with Yi Xian. Therefore, he wanted to kill Yi Xian with his own methods. However, what he did not expect was that Yi Xian was not so easy to deal with. His various escape techniques gave him a headache. Bastard, don't hide if you have the guts. The city lord of Flowing Light City said in a flustered and exasperated tone. When your mother gave birth to you, didn't she give birth to your head? Yi Xian mocked back. If I don't dodge, I'll fight you to the death? What a joke. One was a 2nd stage true monarch while the other was an 8th stage half-step true king. There was a difference of more than 20 realms between them. This was already very heaven-defying. It was precisely because of this that the city lord of Flowing Light City was so eager to kill Yi Xian. Not good. The duration of the slaughter state is about to end. At that time, I won't be able to stop the city lord of Flowing Light City. Yi Xian's face darkened. It seemed that this time, he would have to temporarily retreat. However, he had killed so many people and obtained so many good things. This trip was not a loss. However, just as he was about to use teleportation to increase the distance between them, then use the Void Gate to leave. A black shadow suddenly swept over from the horizon. This black shadow was very fast, arriving in almost the blink of an eye. Who is it? The city lord of Flowing Light City was shocked because the aura of the newcomer was not weak. It was actually a 7th stage half-step true king. Yi Xian also turned his head to look. He discovered that the newcomer was a bald burly man with a simple and honest appearance. He looked to be around 30 years old. However, Yi Xian was very familiar with the aura exuded by the other party. The Pearl of Vanishing. This person was an expert of the Black Dragon sect. Heavens, a 2nd stage true monarch fighting an 8th stage half-step true king. Could it be that you are a genius? The bald burly man was extremely shocked and said, Lord, let me help you. Before Yi Xian could react, this fellow had already transformed into his true form. He was not a black dragon, but a black single-horned python. In his human form, his aura was only that of a 7th stage half-step true king. However, after transforming into his true form, even the city lord of Flowing Light City was afraid of his aura. Crack! The city lord of Flowing Light City hurriedly took out the White Dragon token and crushed it. In the next instant, an illusory figure condensed above his head. Its aura was that of a 1st stage true king. Humph, at most you have the strength of a 9th stage half-step true king. Watch how I kill you. The single-horned black python spoke in human language. Before the illusory figure had completely condensed, it shot out a black ray of light from its horn. Xiao! The black ray of light pierced through the air, instantly piercing through the illusory figure. Then, the illusory figure disappeared. Instant kill. He, who was only a 7th stage half-step true king, was actually able to instantly kill the illusory figure of a 1st stage true king. Moreover, this was not the end. When the illusory figure disappeared, the single-horned black ray of light once again shot out, piercing through the heart of the city lord of Flowing Light City. It was still an instant kill. As for that Zhuo Kong, needless to say, he was also killed. 3 great experts had fallen in an instant. This was also the first time Yi Xian had seen an expert from the Black Dragon cult that could fight so many levels higher than him. After the bald muscular man killed the 3 people, he immediately transformed into his human form and said to Yi Xian, Lord, you must be Mo Longzi, right? Mo Longzi? When Yi Xian heard this, he was slightly surprised. Why did this Mo Longzi look so similar to Bai Longzi? Could it be a name from the Black Dragon cult? Lord, you must be Mo Longzi. Otherwise, how could you fight so many levels higher than you? You're too strong. Lord, you must have at least merged with 10,000 world annihilation dragon scales, right? The bald muscular man continued. Thank you for this time. However, I am not Mo Longzi. Yi Xian shook his head. As for merging with 10,000 world annihilation dragon scales? What a joke. The world annihilation ghost dragon had almost merged with 1,000,000 world annihilation dragon scales. What was a genius with 10,000 scales? Not you? That's impossible. With your talent, there will definitely be a black dragon envoy who will find you and make you Mo Longzi. Our black dragon cult's Mo Longzi is different from the white dragon palaces by Longzi. He can obtain a large amount of treasures and will even be bestowed with top-grade dragon scales, bones, and blood. The bald muscular man said in disbelief. Supreme-grade dragon scales, supreme-grade dragon bones, supreme-grade dragon blood. Hearing this, Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. Previously, he had heard that merging with dragon scales, bones, and blood would greatly increase the effect. If he were to merge with top-grade dragon scales, bones and blood, how much would he be able to improve? Yi Xian was a little curious. I am really not Mo Longzi. The Black Dragon Envoy has not found me yet. Yi Xian shook his head. Not really? Then it doesn't matter. Let me follow you. I am the devouring black-horned python and have already merged with 9,000 world annihilation dragon scales. Chapter 1876. A genius with 9,000 scales. He's so close to becoming a genius with 10,000 scales. Yi Xian was shocked. Even the branch leader of the Blood Flame Hall, a 9th-stage half-step true monarch, had only integrated 600 scales. Even a 9th-stage true monarch could only integrate 2,000 scales at most. As for a 9th-stage half-step true monarch, 5,000 scales was the limit. After all, each scale was harder than the last. A 9th-grade true king would roughly be able to fuse with 9,000 world annihilation dragon scales. That black horn was only a 7th-grade half-step true king, yet he had actually managed to fuse with 9,000 world annihilation dragon scales. He was just a step away from becoming a genius with 10,000 scales. Such a person was actually not Mo Longzi. However, compared to the world annihilation ghost dragon, he was too weak. The world annihilation ghost dragon was now a 2nd-stage true monarch. After this, it would be able to integrate 1,000,000 scales. You're not bad either. You're able to fuse with 9,000 world annihilation dragon scales. Yi Xian said to Black Horn. He reckoned that the reason why the other party was able to fuse with so many world destruction dragon scales was related to his devouring of the horned black python's bloodline. Compared to Lord, I'm still lacking. Black Horn smiled honestly. However, it's only been 2,000 years since I was born. My aptitude should be good. Lord, why don't you let me follow you? What? Only 2,000 years? Yi Xian was shocked. He was close to becoming a genius with 10,000 scales in just 2,000 years. How could such a person not be Mo Longzi? If I put this guy in the planting space and let him integrate with the world annihilation dragon scales, he'll become a genius with 10,000 scales or even 100,000 scales. Yi Xian thought. The current flow of time in the planting space was 100,000 times faster. A day in the outside world was 280 years in the planting space. 10 days was 2,800 years. If Blackhorn could integrate with the world annihilation dragon scales in the planting space, he would definitely become a great killing weapon. It's not impossible for you to follow me, but I have a condition. You have to recognize me as your master. Yi Xian said directly. He thought that Black Cove would hesitate, but he didn't expect Black Cove to nod. Thank you, sir. Black Cove will follow you from now on. Before Yi Xian could react, Black Cove took out a contract. It was a master and servant blood contract. Unfortunately, it was an accident when Yi Xian subdued Luoluo. Otherwise, Yi Xian wouldn't have been able to subdue Luoluo. Therefore, this black horn was at a much higher realm than Yi Xian. It was only a contract with Yi Xian, so it couldn't be considered Yi Xian's subordinate. It couldn't enjoy the boost from the Immortal Eye Unicorn bloodline and the Divine Beast Trainer bloodline. Ding! Master and servant blood contract successfully formed. Since Black Cove was the one who used the master and servant blood contract, there was no problem in establishing the contract. As such, Black Cove became Yi Xian's most loyal servant. My lord, can you tell me how old you are this year and how many World Annihilation Dragon scales you have fused with? After the contract was successfully established, Black Cove couldn't help but ask. This year, I should be 32 years old. However, I didn't fuse with the World Annihilation Dragon scales. He did. After saying that, Yi Xian and the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon separated into two. What? 32 years old? Black Cove was shocked. In the next moment, he realized that he had found a powerful backer. 32 years old, more than 2,000 years younger than him. World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon, after this, you should be able to fuse with 1 million World Annihilation Dragon scales. Yi Xian continued to transmit his voice. W8. What? 1 million? Black Cove almost fainted. He thought that the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon had fused with 10,000 World Annihilation Dragon scales. After all, the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon was only a second-stage true monarch. It was not on the same level as a seventh-stage true king. He didn't expect the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon to be so heaven-defying. 1 million World Annihilation Dragon scales. Let's not talk about this first. If you follow me, you will definitely become a genius with 1 million World Annihilation Dragon scales in the future. Yi Xian grinned and said, how many World Annihilation Dragon scales do you have? Give them all to the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon. Recently, I have also plundered many places belonging to the White Dragon Palace. I have about 6,600,000 World Annihilation Dragon scales. If you want them, you can take them all. Black Cove threw the universe ring to Yi Xian. 6,600,000 World Annihilation Dragon scales. Including the City Lord of Flowing Light City, I have about 7 million World Annihilation Dragon scales. Yi Xian was shocked. He was still a few 100,000 World Annihilation Dragon scales away from the 9th stage. Now that he had 7 million World Annihilation Dragon scales, he could probably enter the 10th stage directly. Leave 100,000 World Annihilation Dragon scales behind. I believe you will become a genius with 100,000 World Annihilation Dragon scales very soon. Also, just call me boss in the future. Don't call me you. Just call me you. Yi Xian reminded him and stored Black Cove in the planting space. In the planting space, the speed at which Black Cove devoured the World Annihilation Dragon scales would be very shocking. Moreover, like Yi Xian, he had broken through by devouring heaven and earth treasures. It was just that he needed a lot of time to refine them. Now that he had the planting space, his cultivation speed and the speed at which he absorbed the World Annihilation Dragon scales would definitely not be slow. After that, Yi Xian plundered Flowing Light City and left. This time, Yi Xian had really made a big profit. He had picked up a genius and would have a big helper in the future. However, what surprised Yi Xian was that after the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon had completely fused with the World Annihilation Dragon scales, it was actually unable to fuse with ordinary dragon scales. Next up, it would need top-grade World Annihilation Dragon scales and top-grade World Annihilation Dragon bones. What a scam. However, a tenfold increase was already very powerful for the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon. Ding! Ordinary World Annihilation Dragon scales can be absorbed into the best quality World Annihilation Dragon scales. Suddenly, a system notification sounded. Ordinary dragon scales could be absorbed into the best quality dragon scales. This was beyond Yi Xian's expectations. However, when he saw the exchange rate clearly, he was completely dumbfounded. 1 million World Annihilation Dragon scales could only be absorbed into one best quality dragon scale. Coincidentally, Yi Xian had an extra million World Annihilation Dragon scales, so he immediately exchanged them for the best quality dragon scales. After the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon had absorbed one best quality dragon scale, its increase in power was increased by 5%. This meant that it would need 20 World Annihilation Dragon scales to reach this level. In other words, it would be equivalent to 20 million ordinary dragon scales. Fortunately, it can continue to increase. As long as it can continue to increase, it doesn't matter how many there are. Yi Xian comforted himself. After all, it was not too difficult for him to obtain the World Annihilation Dragon scales. Speaking of which, Black Horn seemed to know something about the Black Dragon sect. This could answer some questions for Yi Xian. For example, the origin of the Black Dragon sect. Boss, countless years ago, the Black Dragon sect had not yet been established. At that time, a world annihilation black dragon suddenly appeared in this area. Wherever it passed, not a single blade of grass grew. It destroyed countless forces. After that, the dragon-slaying alliance led by the White Dragon Palace appeared. They fought the World Annihilation Black Dragon. In the end, the World Annihilation Black Dragon was killed and its corpse was divided. After that, everyone discovered that by comprehending the World Annihilation Black Dragon's dragon scale, one could comprehend the World Annihilation attack and increase one's attack power. Later on, someone discovered that they could absorb the World Annihilation Dragon scale into their body. In the end, this mysterious person established the Black Dragon sect and became the first Black Dragon sect leader. Chapter 1877. What was the level of that Black Dragon back then? Xianxia asked curiously. I heard that it was at the Saint level. Black Horn replied. Saint? What's that? Xianxia raised his brows and asked. After the true Emperor level is the half-saint level, and after that is the saint level. Once one becomes a half-saint, the immortal energy in their body will gradually transform into saint energy and become stronger. Black Horn continued. Xianxia paused after hearing this. He was only a half-step true lord right now, and the old tree was only a low-level true lord. They were still a few realms away from the true emperor level. He didn't expect the Black Dragon Emissary and White Dragon Emissary to be so powerful. He estimated that they were at least half-saints, or even saints. Boss, your Black Dragon has fused with millions of world destruction dragon scales. If the Black Dragon Emissary finds out about it, it will definitely become the Demon Dragon's son. At that time, it will definitely be bestowed with supreme-grade dragon scales, dragon bones, and dragon blood. Black Horn suddenly said. I know, but how do we find the Black Dragon Emissary? Xianxia asked in surprise. I left the tribe this time to go to a place where anyone with 10,000 scales can obtain a supreme-grade dragon bone. Black Horn said. Xianxia's eyes lit up as he asked, where is that place? It's called Misty Wind Forest. There's a Black Dragon Emissary there. I'm planning to find him after fusing with 10,000 scales. Black Horn replied. Misty Wind Forest? How long will it take to get there? Xianxia asked. About 7 days if we use the teleportation formation continuously. Black Horn said. Okay, then you should fuse with 700 more world destruction dragon scales in these 7 days. Xianxia nodded. 7 days in the outside world was equivalent to 2,000 years in the planted space. This was enough for Black Horn. Xianxia immediately headed for the Misty Wind Forest. Now that the World Destruction Ghost Dragon had fused with millions of scales, it only needed to disguise itself as a 10,000 scales genius and obtain a supreme-grade dragon bone. During this time, he also broke through again and reached the 8th grade half-step True Lord level. During the journey, Black Horn lived up to everyone's expectations. He directly integrated more than 1,000 world-ending dragon scales and became a 10,000 scales genius. At the same time, his cultivation had also risen to stage 9 half-step True King. Black Horn could only feel incredulous. He originally thought that it would take him 1,000 years, but he had done it in just 7 days. He definitely didn't follow the wrong boss. 7 days later, Xianxia arrived at the entrance of the Misty Wind Forest. Black Horn, where is the Black Dragon Envoy? At the entrance of Misty Wind Forest, Xianxia could not help but ask Black Cove who was in the planting space. I'm not sure about that. I heard that it was the Black Dragon Envoy who took the initiative to come here. Black Horn shook his head. Is that so? Come out then. Xianxia released Black Horn as soon as he finished speaking. At that moment, not only had Black Horn become a rank 9 half-step True King, but he had also fused with over 10,000 World Destruction Dragon Scales, reaching 11,000. This was already in line with the requirements. If what Black Horn said was true, then the Black Dragon Envoy should come to him. All right, let's go. Xianxia said as he led Black Horn into the Misty Wind Forest. This Misty Wind Forest was a dangerous place. Even a half-step True King would not dare to rashly enter. However, Black Horn was already a rank 9 half-step True King. His battle prowess had long reached the level of a True King. With him leading the way, it would not be a problem. Moreover, Xianxia was not weak himself. He still had various trump cards at hand. Nothing would happen to him. Following that, Xianxia and Black Horn wandered around the Misty Wind Forest. Originally, there were many immortal beasts in the Misty Wind Forest. However, after the Black Dragon calamity, the Misty Wind Forest was occupied by a group of black dragons. Moreover, the number of black dragons increased by several times. Black dragons could be seen everywhere. Xian and Black Horn killed every black dragon they saw. After all, these black dragons had destruction dragon scales and destruction dragon bones. They first wandered around the forest for half a day. Apart from black dragons, they only saw black dragons. They did not see the black dragon envoy at all. This Misty Wind Forest is quite big. If we want to explore the entire forest, it will take several days. Let's explore it once first. Xian comforted himself. If he went to rob, he could obtain many destruction dragon scales. If they wandered around the Misty Wind Forest without any gains, it would be too much of a loss. Finally, after wandering around the Misty Wind Forest for 2 days, Xian and Black Horn finally encountered a person. It was a young man. His appearance was ordinary, but he was a rank 1 true king. "You are also looking for the Black Dragon envoy?" asked the young man. "That's right." Xian nodded. He could sense that the young man also had a Pearl of Annihilation. Moreover, he had fused with many destruction dragon scales. He estimated that there were at least 10,000 of them. "I've been searching for more than a month, but I haven't found anything. However, I met someone yesterday. He said that he met the Black Dragon envoy at the northern part of the Misty Wind Forest," said the young man. "The northern part of the Misty Wind Forest?" Xian raised an eyebrow. "That's good. Why don't we team up?" Black Horn said. "Okay." The young man nodded. Xian didn't have any objections. Who knew, they might encounter the Black Dragon envoy if they stayed together. Of course, if the young man wasn't an expert of the Black Dragon sect, he would have attacked him with Black Horn already. A rank 1 true king must have a lot of destruction dragon scales in his interspatial ring, right? Then, Xian and Black Horn went with the young man to the back of the Misty Wind Forest. At first, Xian didn't pay much attention to the young man. However, after a while, he felt that there was something wrong with the young man. The young man noticed Xian's gaze and couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. He asked, "What are you looking at?" He didn't care about Xian at all. After all, Xian's cultivation was so low. What he cared about was Black Horn, a rank 9 half-step true king. He felt that Black Horn was a 10,000 scale genius. As for him, he was only a 10,000 scale genius. Moreover, he had cultivated for more than 100,000 years. Compared to Black Horn, he was too weak. "Black Horn, be careful. There's something wrong with this guy." Xian hurriedly transmitted to Black Horn. When Black Horn heard this, he replied, "Boss, shall we go on our own?" "Okay." After getting Xian's agreement, Black Horn paused and said, "Sir, we still have some matters to attend to. We won't be traveling with you." Hearing this, the young man also looked at Black Horn, wondering where he had exposed himself. "Since that's the case, then I'll have to offend you." The young man didn't waste time and directly attacked. The aura of a rank 1 true king instantly spread out, pressuring Xian to the point of suffocation. As expected, the young man had his eyes on Xian and Black Horn. No, to be precise, Black Horn was his target. "Trash dares to show off in front of me? Black Horn, kill him." Chapter 1878. In the next moment, Wei Zhentian transformed into the level 3 Mystic God battle armor and donned it on Black Horn. Black Horn's physique immediately soared. He was now several times stronger than his original form. Demon-breaking fist. The humanoid Black Horn turned into a stream of light and went up to meet him. However, what astonished the young man was that, with his strength of a rank 1 half-step true monarch, he was actually instantly killed by Black Horn, a rank 9 half-step true monarch. Bang! After a muffled sound, the young man looked at his chest and discovered that it was empty. His heart and flesh had all been blown apart. Dead. Although Black Horn is only a level 9 true king, his strength soared after donning the level 3 Mystic God battle armor. He was able to instantly kill his opponent, Xian thought to himself. He quickly collected the corpse and stored it in his planting space for Wei Zhentian to search his soul. This guy is actually a genius of the White Dragon Palace hidden in the Black Dragon sect. He has also fused with 10,000 world-destroying dragon scales. He attacked us this time because he wanted to trap Black Horn. Before us, he had already captured 7 10,000 scale geniuses. Yi Xian immediately understood the situation. Boss, why did he want to capture 10,000 scale geniuses? Black Horn asked in confusion. In this misty wind forest, there's a mid-level true king expert from the White Dragon Palace. The reason why the person we killed captured these 10,000 scale geniuses was to lure out the Black Dragon Special Envoy, and then hand them over to the mid-level true king from the White Dragon Palace. Yi Xian replied. Can we lure out the Black Dragon Envoy by gathering so many 10,000 scale geniuses? Black Horn asked. I'm not sure. However, I already know where those 10,000 scale geniuses are trapped. The mid-level true king should be nearby. Yi Xian said. Boss, let's leave quickly. We can't deal with a mid-level true king yet, Black Horn said. Although he had killed a level 1 true king, a mid-level true king was at least a level 4 true king. It could also be a level 6 true king. It was not something he could deal with right now. It's fine. Let's go take a look first. I have many life-saving methods. I won't die. Yi Xian shook his head and decided to go take a look at that place. However, at that moment, hoo! A gust of wind entered the ears of Yi Xian and Black Horn. They quickly turned their heads to look and found that the space in the distance suddenly trembled. Then, a phantom gradually solidified and finally turned into a black-robed man. However, this person's aura was much more powerful than that of the young man who had died earlier. Who is it? Yi Xian and Black Horn couldn't help but feel astonished. Do you know who I am? The black-robed man asked. I don't know. Black Cove answered without thinking. Didn't you come to the Lost Wind Forest to find me? The man in black's words made Yi Xian and Black Horn recognize him. It turned out that this man in black was the Black Dragon Special Envoy. Big guy, you should have fused with 10,000 World Annihilation Dragon Scales, right? The Black Dragon Envoy asked. Yes, Senior. Black Horn nodded. All right, I'll give you this piece of supreme-grade apocalyptic dragon bone. Without hesitation, the Black Dragon Special Envoy took out a piece of supreme-grade apocalyptic dragon bone and threw it to Black Horn. As for Yi Xian, he didn't take him seriously either. After all, he hadn't fused with a single piece. Since the Black Dragon Special Envoy had given him a piece of supreme-grade apocalyptic dragon bone, it proved that the Black Dragon Special Envoy was the real person and not someone in disguise. Therefore, Yi Xian summoned the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon. The Black Dragon Special Envoy was slightly surprised when he saw the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon Scales. He asked, how many World Annihilation Dragon Scales has it fused with? Senior, it has fused with 12,000 pieces. Yi Xian replied casually. What? 12,000 pieces? The Black Dragon Special Envoy was shocked. The World Annihilation Ghost Dragon was only a third-stage True Lord. However, it had fused with 12,000 pieces of World Annihilation Dragon Scales. It was simply unbelievable. Originally, he thought that Yi Xian was just a bystander. He didn't expect that Yi Xian was a beast tamer. At that moment, his eyes shone with unprecedented brilliance. Such a genius. He can't be a White Dragon Special Envoy in disguise. The Black Dragon Special Envoy thought to himself. He took out 10 pieces of World Annihilation Dragon Bones from his Qian ring. All 10 pieces were supreme-grade dragon bones. One had to know that 1 million pieces of World Annihilation Dragon Scales were required to fuse with 1 supreme-grade World Annihilation Dragon Scale. 10 supreme-grade World Annihilation Dragon Scales were equivalent to 1 supreme-grade World Annihilation Dragon Bone. In other words, 1 supreme-grade World Annihilation Dragon Bone was equivalent to 10 million pieces of World Annihilation Dragon Scales. 10 supreme-grade World Annihilation Dragon Bones were equivalent to 100 million pieces. 100 million pieces. These 10 supreme-grade World Annihilation Dragon Bones are all yours. The Black Dragon Special Envoy generously threw the items to Yi Xian. If these 10 supreme-grade World Annihilation Dragon Bones were added to the ones that Black Horn had obtained, it would be a total of 11 supreme-grade World Annihilation Dragon Bones. This was enough to increase the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon's strength by a lot. Thank you, Senior. Yi Xian hurriedly expressed his gratitude. This time, he really didn't come to the wrong place. He had obtained so many treasures at once. Work hard and strive to become a true 10,000 scale genius in the future. The Black Dragon Special Envoy solemnly said. A true 10,000 scale genius? Yi Xian and Black Cove looked at each other, not understanding what the Black Dragon Envoy was talking about. The Black Dragon Envoy knew that Yi Xian and Black Horn didn't understand, so he explained, the 10,000 World Annihilation Dragon Scales that you have fused with are the lowest grade World Annihilation Dragon Scales. A true 10,000 scale genius is also called a top grade 10,000 scale genius. It refers to fusing with top grade World Annihilation Dragon Scales. If we were to convert, you would need to fuse with 1 billion World Annihilation Dragon Scales to be considered a true 10,000 scale genius. 1 billion World Annihilation Dragon Scales. Yi Xian and Black Horn rolled their eyes and almost fainted. However, Yi Xian had used 1 million World Annihilation Dragon Scales to fuse with a piece of Supreme Grade Dragon Scale. If one were to calculate, it was indeed 1 billion. None of you are disciples of my Black Dragon sect. To be able to reach the level of 10,000 scales before becoming a true king is already considered to have met the standard. The next stage is to fuse with 100,000 World Annihilation Dragon Scales at the True King realm, 1 million at the half-step True Emperor realm, 10 million at the True Emperor realm, 100 million at the half-step True Venerable realm, and 1 billion at the True Venerable realm. 1 billion at the True Venerable realm, which is the top grade 1000 scale genius. The Black Dragon Special Envoy continued, even I have only fused with a few thousand World Annihilation Dragon Scales. If we were to convert them to Supreme Grade Dragon Scales, it's not even one scale. Gulp! After hearing the Black Dragon Special Envoy's words, Yi Xian and Black Horn were speechless. If that was the case, then one who had fused with almost 10 million World Annihilation Ghost Dragons could be considered a 10-scale genius, right? Chapter 1879. The Black Dragon Emissary. Yi Xian raised his eyebrows as he suddenly remembered the Black Dragon Emissary he saw that day. At that time, the Black Dragon Emissary said that he could go find him if he reached 10,000 scales. It turned out that the Black Dragon Emissary was referring to the highest quality, and not the normal ones. The World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon had only fused a few scales back then, so it couldn't have attracted such an expert. The reason why the White Dragon Emissary was attracted was because of the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon's physique. Yi Xian thought to himself. Moreover, the White Dragon Emissary took so long to arrive because the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon's aura spread slowly. Otherwise, an expert like the White Dragon Emissary would have arrived immediately. He guessed that regardless of whether it was the Black Dragon sect or the White Dragon Palace, the emissaries were at least half saints or saints. A person of this level could travel more than 100 years in a single second. If the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon's aura could spread quickly, the White Dragon Emissary would have arrived immediately. But then again, the Black Dragon Emissary said that a half-step True Monarch needed to fuse 10,000 World Destroyer Dragon Scales. In other words, a rank 9 half-step True Monarch was required to fuse 10,000 normal World Destroyer Dragon Scales. The World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon was only a rank 3 True Monarch right now. Even if it was a rank 3 half-step True Monarch, it would still exceed the standard. Moreover, it was still 15 levels away from the standard. Most importantly, the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon had already fused 10 million normal World Destroyer Dragon Scales. This was the standard for a true sovereign. If the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon goes to the Black Dragon sect, it will definitely be the #1 genius. Yi Xian was looking forward to it and hurriedly said, "Then I'll have to trouble you, senior." "Don't worry. I'll report anyone who meets the standard, let alone a genius like you who far exceeds the standard." The Black Dragon Emissary nodded and paused for a moment before continuing. "However, before that, there's something that needs to be dealt with." "What is it?" Yi Xian asked curiously. "The people you killed just now were spies from the White Dragon Palace. Their purpose was to lure me out. Before you came, they also made a few moves and trapped a few ordinary 10,000 scale geniuses. So, we have to rescue them first," the Black Dragon Envoy said. "Then does Senior know where those people are trapped?" Yi Xian asked. "I know, but I don't know how many experts they have, so I haven't shown up yet." The Black Dragon Ambassador nodded. Yi Xian had seen his methods just now. This Black Dragon Special Envoy was very good at concealment, which was why he could hide. "Senior, if you are not confident, I have a magic treasure here that can help you," Yi Xian said as he transformed Wei Zhantian into a level 3 Mystic Divine Battle Armor. "What is this?" The Black Dragon Envoy did not suspect anything, and allowed the Mystic Divine Battle Armor to be worn. In the next moment, he felt his body become stronger. This was several times more powerful than when he transformed into his true form. With this armor, he was confident that he could rescue all the geniuses. Good, very good. If we succeed this time, I will reward you with 10 supreme-grade world annihilation dragon bones. The Black Dragon Envoy's eyes lit up and said, You too, hide here first. I will set up a formation and wait for my return. Yi Xian and Black Horn nodded. Then, the Black Dragon Envoy set up a concealment formation and asked Yi Xian and Black Horn to hide inside. Then, he went alone to the place where the 10,000 scale geniuses were trapped. With Wei Zhentian's help, the Black Dragon Envoy should not have any problems. Moreover, Yi Xian had placed a death pursuit order on him. If he died, Yi Xian would know. Half a day later, from the vision shared by Wei Zhentian, the Black Dragon Envoy had killed the White Dragon Palace's mid-stage True King and rescued the 10,000 scale geniuses. Very soon he returned. Your magic treasure is so useful. It allowed me to kill the opponent who was 2 realms higher than me. The Black Dragon Envoy could not help but say. He was only a 4th stage True King, and the White Dragon Palace's 6th stage True King. However, after wearing the Mystic Divine Armor, the White Dragon Palace's 6th stage True King was killed by him. This was really beyond his expectations. Before Yi Xian could say anything, the Black Dragon Envoy took out 10 supreme-grade dragon bones and threw them to Yi Xian. Thank you for your reward, Senior. Yi Xian hurriedly thanked him. It's no problem. My Black Dragon sect does not lack these. After all, no matter how talented a person is, he will not be able to fuse with many of them. Just take them, the Black Dragon Envoy said with a smile. In this way, Yi Xian had obtained 21 supreme-grade dragon bones. If he were to fuse with all of them, the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon's strength would increase tremendously. All right, I have already reported this to my superior on my way here. Now I will personally escort you to him, the Black Dragon Envoy continued. Yes, Senior. Yi Xian nodded satisfactorily. It seemed that he was going to soar to the sky. As long as he had a good leader, he would not have to worry about not having supreme-grade dragon scales and supreme-grade dragon bones. Perhaps, he could even get supreme-grade dragon blood. At that time, when all 3 types of dragon scales, dragon bones, and dragon blood were fused into his body, who knew what would happen? At that moment, the Black Dragon Envoy led Yi Xian and Black Horn to the designated location. While they were on their way, Yi Xian asked the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon to fuse with the supreme-grade dragon bones in the planting space. With the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon's ribs, fusing with these things was very fast. Not long after, the 21 supreme-grade dragon bones were absorbed by the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon. The first 2 supreme-grade dragon bones were enough for the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon to complete the 11th stage. After that, 19 supreme-grade dragon bones and a large number of World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon scales completed the 12th stage. In total, the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon's combat strength had increased by about 2 times. This is too scary. The 13th stage requires 100 supreme-grade dragon bones, which is 1 billion World Annihilation Dragon scales. Yi Xian was scared out of his wits. Right now, the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon already had 200 dragon scales, and they were all supreme-grade dragon scales according to the Black Dragon sect's internal calculation. However, the number of dragon scales did not have much to do with the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon. After all, the effect of the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon fusing with the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon was much smaller than other people. If Black Horn could fuse with 200 supreme-grade dragon scales, even a high-level True King or a half-step True Emperor might not be able to hurt him. However, during the first break on the way, Yi Xian accidentally released the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon. Chapter 1880. This was something that Yi Xian, Black Horn, and even the Black Dragon Envoy did not notice. As a result, an expert from the White Dragon Hall was attracted. All right, let's continue our journey. We should be able to hand you over to the Lord the day after tomorrow, the Black Dragon Envoy said. The Black Dragon sect had countless branches and countless Black Dragon Envoys and Black Dragon Envoys. At this moment, he was personally escorting Yi Xian to a high-level True King. Then, this high-level True King would escort him to the higher-level Black Dragon Envoy. However, right at this moment... Leave? Do you think you can leave? Suddenly, a strange voice fell into the ears of the Black Dragon Special Envoy. The Black Dragon Envoy's body trembled as he hurriedly turned around. However, he was only able to turn halfway when he found himself unable to move. A powerful aura suppressed him and rendered him unable to move. A high-level true king? Or perhaps even stronger. When Xian and Blackhorn heard the voice, they hurriedly looked over and saw a white figure standing in the air in front of them. When Xian saw the face of this figure clearly, he was completely dumbfounded. He had seen this white-robed figure before, and more than once. White Dragon Envoy? Xian was frightened. He did not expect that they would meet again after so long. What was going on? It seems that the Black Dragon Envoy did not kill this middle-aged man that day. However, how did he find us? Was it just a coincidence? Xian frowned. He did not know that after the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon merged with the top-grade Dragon Bone, the Pearl of Annihilation could no longer conceal its aura. In that case, even if he used the time reversal skill, it would be difficult for him to escape. He could only try to find another path and see if he could avoid this White Dragon Envoy. I did not expect that you would grow to this level in such a short time. The White Dragon Envoy did not dare to believe it. He remembered that when he first met the Black Dragon Envoy, Xian was only a half-step perfected person, and the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon was only a rank 1 perfected person. However, in such a short time, Xian had broken through to become a rank 9 half-step True Monarch, and the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon had become a rank 4 True Monarch. Xian stared at White Dragon, waiting to see what he was going to do to him. However, right at that moment, another aura descended. White Dragon Saint. We meet again. A familiar voice rang in Xian's ears. Black Dragon Saint. This time, the White Dragon Saint Envoy and the Black Dragon Saint Envoy were drawn over. Could it be that there was going to be another great battle? Last time, the Black Dragon Saint Envoy also arrived later and beat the White Dragon Saint Envoy away. In terms of power, the Black Dragon Saint Emissary was much stronger than the White Dragon Saint Emissary. It seemed that they wouldn't be in danger this time. Originally, Xian wanted to use time reversal, but now, it seemed that there was no need for that. You again! The White Dragon Saint Emissary looked at the Black Dragon Saint Emissary with fear. His cultivation was higher than the Black Dragon Saint Emissary's, but the Black Dragon Saint Emissary had fused with a large number of world-destroying dragon scales. Thus, he was not able to defeat the Black Dragon Saint Emissary in a one-on-one battle. That's me! The Black Dragon Saint Emissary grinned. Then, he glanced at Xian and transmitted his voice to him. Brat, I didn't expect that your dragon would grow to this extent in just a short period of time. You have at least 200 top-quality dragon scales, right? An expert was indeed an expert. He was able to see through Xian with a single glance. Someone like the world-destroying Ghostly Dragon, who was only a 4th-stage True Monarch and had fused with 200 top-quality dragon scales, was something that could not be found in the entire Black Dragon Church. Thus, the Black Dragon Saint Emissary decided to protect Xian with all his might. He even wanted to take him in as a disciple. Although the Black Dragon Saint Emissary's expression remained calm, he was extremely shocked in his heart. If the world-destroying Ghostly Dragon was able to grow up safely, it might become the second Black Dragon Saint Emissary, or even surpass it. Last time, I felt an unusual aura. At that time I felt that it was strange. Even a genius with 10,000 scales was like an ant in my eyes. However, although that aura was weak, it was very similar to the aura of the world-destroying Ghostly Dragon. Thus, I went to look for it. The White Dragon Saint Emissary thought to himself, could this Black Dragon be the descendant of the Black Dragon Saint Emissary? If that was the case, they would have to kill the Ghost Dragon. Or, they would have to bring the World Devastation Ghost Dragon back. It was precisely because of this that the White Dragon Saint Emissary did not make a move and allowed the Black Dragon Saint Emissary to rush over. Seeing that the White Dragon Saint Emissary was not speaking and his gaze was fixed on the world-destroying Ghostly Dragon, the Black Dragon Saint Emissary's nerves tensed up. He was prepared to make a move at any moment. Black Dragon Saint Emissary, you've protected it time and time again. What is its origin? The White Dragon Saint Emissary asked. Do you think that I will tell you? Even if it's my illegitimate son, you can't do anything about it. The Black Dragon Saint Emissary sneered. Of course, the it they were talking about was not Xian but the world-destroying Ghostly Dragon. What a joke. The aura on its body is very similar to that of the Black Dragon Saint Emissary. It should be the descendant of the Black Dragon Saint Emissary, right? The White Dragon Saint Emissary said. Make a guess. The Black Dragon Saint Emissary continued to laugh. In truth, even he did not know what the world-destroying ghostly dragon was. However, the White Dragon Saint Emissary's guess was indeed possible. The world-destroying ghostly dragon could indeed be the descendant of the Black Destruction Dragon. Last time, he had misjudged it and thought that it was only a black dragon with a decent bloodline. However, in such a short period of time, the world-destroying ghostly dragon had broken through from rank 1 enlightened being to rank 4 true monarch. Most importantly, it was able to fuse with at least 200 supreme quality dragon scales. Apart from the descendant of the Black Destruction Dragon, who else could do such a thing? If that's the case, then I must take it away today. The White Dragon Saint Emissary's eyes suddenly lit up. If it was the descendant of the Black Destruction Dragon, it would be best if he could bring it back to the White Dragon Palace because it would be of great use. If that was not possible, then he would have to kill it. Last time, you were beaten to a pulp by me and ran away like a dog. What else do you want today? The Black Dragon Saint Emissary did not waste any more words and directly attacked. Both of them were super experts surpassing the true Emperor realm. A battle of this level was not something that ordinary people could see. In an instant, the two of them turned into their true forms and began to fight. It's actually Sir Emissary. I can die without regrets. The Black Dragon Saint Emissary looked at the battle in the sky and couldn't help but sigh. Unfortunately, the difference in cultivation was too great. He was unable to see the two figures and could only hear the rumbling sounds. On the other side, Xianxia was also very happy. He originally wanted the Black Dragon Saint Emissary to introduce him so that he would not have to worry about food and clothing in the future. However, who would have thought that the Black Dragon Saint Emissary would appear on his own? It seemed that the Black Dragon sect would definitely treat the world-destroying ghostly dragon like a treasure. However, things were not that simple. Black Dragon Saint Emissary, why do you think I didn't leave this time? The White Dragon Saint Emissary suddenly asked. Chapter 1881. When the Black Dragon Emissary heard this, he found it strange. The White Dragon Emissary was already being suppressed by him. If he waited any longer, the White Dragon Emissary would definitely be defeated. However, the White Dragon Emissary knew that he could not defeat him. He did not even have the chance to kill Xianxia. Why did he choose to stay and continue fighting? The next moment, he knew the reason. Oh no, another one is here. The Black Dragon Emissary's expression changed. He turned around and saw another figure in white. It was another White Dragon Emissary. No wonder the middle-aged man did not leave. He was waiting for help. If it was a one-on-one battle, the middle-aged man in white would definitely not be able to defeat the Black Dragon Emissary. However, if it was a two-on-one battle, it would be a different story. Not only that, the Black Dragon Emissary realized that the White Dragon Emissary who had just arrived looked very similar to the middle-aged man. They were actually twins. It's you guys. The Black Dragon Emissary immediately reacted. In the White Dragon Hall, there was a pair of twins who were adept at joint attacks. If the two of them joined forces, they would be able to fight against 3 people. The middle-aged man in white that Xianxia had encountered previously was the younger twin, Xianxia. The older twin was the one who had just arrived. His name was Xianxia. This was troublesome. Are you the one who severely injured my younger brother previously? Xianxia narrowed his eyes and asked. So what if I am? The Black Dragon Emissary shouted. If that's the case then... Xianxia's expression turned cold. Just as he was about to attack, he received a message from Xianxia. Brother, capture that kid and the Black Dragon first. Their objective was to capture Xianxia and the World Devastator Ghostly Dragon, not to kill the Black Dragon Emissary. Even if the Black Dragon Emissary could not defeat them, he could still escape. When Xianxia heard this, he could not help but divert his attention. Xianxia could still handle the situation now. When the time came, he could still escape. It was better to deal with Xianxia and the World Devastator Ghostly Dragon first. Oh no! The Black Dragon Emissary's expression changed again. If he brought Xianxia back to the Black Dragon sect, the Black Dragon Hall would definitely be more powerful than the White Dragon Hall. Xianxia and the Black Dragon Emissary was very important. He could not let Xianxia must not fall into the White Dragon Palace's hands. Even if I, Zhao Cheng, die today, I will kill the two of you. The Black Dragon Saint Emissary roared furiously as blood-red runes appeared all over his body. It's time to go all out. Chao Zhenying and Chao Zhenxiong looked at each other and immediately became cautious. At the same time, a notification sounded in Yi Xian's mind. Ding! Host has triggered a random mission, evading the pursuit of the White Dragon ambassadors. The random mission was triggered again. Moreover, just like before, he couldn't use the time reversal skill this time. He had to hide for 3 days, and he would only be considered successful if he couldn't be found by the 2 White Dragon emissaries. What a scam. Senior, help me block their pressure. I can escape on my own. Yi Xian hurriedly transmitted a message to the Black Dragon emissary. All right. When the Black Dragon emissary heard this, he quickly moved between Yi Xian and the 2 White Dragon emissaries. In the next moment, Yi Xian was able to move again. The mark left behind by the White Dragon disappeared. Immediately, he kept the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon and the Black Dragon emissary that he had communicated with into the plant dimension. Then, he broke through the void and entered. Not good. Chao Zhenxiong reacted, but it was too late. The void had already closed. Yi Xian had escaped. Once Yi Xian left, the Black Dragon emissary was much more relaxed. He just had to find a chance to escape on his own. However, the Chao Zhenying and Chao Zhenxiong brothers were very difficult to deal with when they worked together. Even if the Black Dragon emissary gave it his all, he wouldn't be able to escape so easily. At the same time on the other side, the White Dragon emissary was at least a half-sage. He was a few realms higher than Wei Zhentian. The Million Beasts illustration and Mystic Divine armor were useless against him. Luckily, I managed to escape. Yi Xian was scared out of his wits. After all, he couldn't use the time reversal skill anymore. If he accidentally died, he would have to use 3 devouring points to repair his 3 avatars. Most importantly, his 4th avatar was in the mortal world. Even if he ascended to the immortal world, he wouldn't know how to return to the holy world. Hence, he had to be very careful. I left a death pursuit order on the Black Dragon emissary. If he dies, I will know. If he really dies, I will definitely avenge him. Yi Xian made a decision in his heart. However, it was better for him to hide for 3 days. During these 3 days, it was better for him to keep a low profile. The death pursuit order didn't only allow him to know if the marked person was still alive, it also allowed him to sense the distance. A few seconds after he left, the Black Dragon emissary started to move quickly. It seemed like he was escaping. During these 3 days, Yi Xian was on tenterhooks. He didn't let anyone out and moved alone. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Finally, 3 days had passed. Ding! Host has completed the random mission. Reward: Time Control Advancement. Now, the ratio between the planted space and the outside world was 560 years. 1 day in the outside world was 560 years in the planted space. At the same time, the instant the random mission was completed, he could finally use time reversal. However, he couldn't go back to the previous day. He could only go back to the few seconds after the random mission was completed. Hence, Yi Xian decided to stay for 1 more day. That way, if anything happened, he could use time reversal. During these few days of hiding from the White Dragon emissary, I broke through to rank 1 true monarch. However, this strength is completely useless against an expert of this level. Yi Xian thought to himself as he looked into the distance. In the distant horizon, there was a scarlet word. This meant that the Black Dragon emissary was still alive. He hasn't moved at all. I guess he is treating his injuries. Yi Xian thought to himself and decided to look for the Black Dragon emissary. He estimated the distance and estimated that he would need around 2 to 3 days to find the Black Dragon emissary. Of course, this was under the condition that the Black Dragon emissary didn't move. Furthermore, Yi Xian only hoped that he wouldn't bump into the 2 White Dragon emissaries. Otherwise, he would have to use time reversal. Fortunately, Wei Zhentian had another magical treasure. It was called Flowing Light Invisibility Cloak. This could greatly reduce Yi Xian's sense of existence. It was the most suitable item for concealing himself. Very soon, 3 days had passed. After 3 days, Yi Xian broke through to rank 2 true monarch. Moreover, not long after he broke through, he found the Black Dragon emissary. Unfortunately, the Black Dragon emissary was already on the verge of death. Senior, how are your injuries? Yi Xian immediately asked. Brat, you actually managed to find me. You can be considered to have some ability. The black dragon emissary cracked open his mouth and smiled. Then he shook his head and said, Unfortunately, I was hit twice by those two. The holy purifying dragon light is extremely fatal to me. The poison has already spread to my heart. I estimate that I can only last for one more day. Chapter 1882. What? Only one day left? Yi Xian raised his brows. This was a tragedy. He finally met the black dragon emissary, but now there were two white dragon emissaries as well. What should he do now that the emissary could only live for one day? Haha, don't be so surprised. Even though I'm on the verge of death, I still drag Chao Zhenying down with me. The emissary laughed. Chao Zhenying was the older twin. If he died, Chao Zhenxiong would go crazy. Senior, is there no other way? Yi Xian frowned and asked. No, you can't cure this level of poison. I can't even move right now, so I'm ready to die. The emissary shook his head. Nevertheless, Yi Xian still took out his blood bottle. Unfortunately, it was useless. He was only a true monarch. After that were half-step true monarchs, true kings, true sovereigns, true sovereigns, true sovereigns, true emperors, and true emperors. It would be strange if the immortal phoenix bloodline was useful with such a huge gap. Forget it. I know what you're thinking. The emissary shook his head. Yi Xian also felt guilty towards him, because if he hadn't been discovered, the Black Dragon envoy wouldn't have been besieged and ended up on the verge of death. Oh right, you were discovered because your Black Dragon had fused with a supreme-level dragon bone. The low-level Pearl of Annihilation couldn't hide its aura. The emissary looked at his hand and sighed. Unfortunately, my spatial ring was destroyed in the previous battle, so I don't have anything left for you. But I do have one last thing. Yi Xian's eyes lit up after hearing this. The emissary was an expert, so his gift must be amazing. The last thing is my corpse. The Black Dragon Saint emissary said, I have also merged with many dragon scales, dragon bones, and dragon blood. Although I am not as good as the Black Dragon of Destruction back then, the dragon scales on my body are about the same as the Black Dragon of Destruction scales. When I die, you can take them all. A corpse? Yi Xian frowns. The Black Dragon Saint is a Zioist, not an immortal beast. The world-destroying ghost dragon cannot fuse with his things. However, he did not say it out loud. After all, this was the Black Dragon Saint's good intentions. Also, give me a floating image crystal. I want to record something and pass it to my disciple. The Black Dragon Saint said. All right. Without hesitation, Yi Xian used the immortal grade devouring system to exchange for the highest grade floating image crystal that was currently available. After the Black Dragon Saint finished recording, he handed it over to Yi Xian and said, My name is Feng Bei Han, one of the 9 saint envoys of the Black Dragon sect. The disciple I just accepted is called Pan Hong, and he has a special body constitution. I originally wanted to nurture him to become the Black Dragon Saint, but it seems like that won't be possible. Take the floating image crystal and find him. He will make the arrangements. Senior, I will definitely do it. Yi Xian nodded. After that, the Black Dragon Saint taught Yi Xian how to find Pan Hong. It turned out that there was a hidden teleportation array nearby that could only be activated with a supreme-grade dragon bone. The teleportation array's final destination was the Pan family's residence. A day later, the Black Dragon Saint died. Yi Xian took his corpse and headed to the teleportation array. However, Yi Xian was extremely worried during this journey. He was afraid that the 2 White Dragon Saint envoys would discover him. No, the Black Dragon Saint envoys had killed Chao Zhenying, so only the White Dragon Saint envoys were left. Luckily, it was just a false alarm. A few days later, Yi Xian arrived at the teleportation array that the Black Dragon Saint envoys had built. He then used a supreme-grade dragon bone to teleport. Hua! The teleportation array activated. This teleportation array could teleport people very far away. As long as he landed, Yi Xian would not have to worry about him anymore. At that moment, a teleportation array suddenly started to activate somewhere in the Holy World. The teleportation array has activated. Quick! Inform the young family head immediately. This teleportation array was located in the Pan family. Before Yi Xian could land on the ground, Pan Hong had already rushed over. Master is back? Pan Hong raised an eyebrow. Then, he saw a figure appear in the teleportation array. It's not Master? When Pan Hong saw the unfamiliar young man, he was shocked. He could not help but ask, "Who are you?" The person who had appeared in the teleportation array was undoubtedly Yi Xian. He looked around and saw a chubby boy who was about 15 or 16 years old. "I am Yi Xian. I am here to look for Pan Hong." Yi Xian replied. "I am Pan Hong. How did you know about this teleportation array?" Pan Hong narrowed his eyes. When Yi Xian heard this, he was in disbelief. This chubby boy was the Black Dragon Saint Envoy's disciple, Pan Hong? This was completely different from the Pan Hong that he had imagined. However, Pan Hong's strength was so strong that he could not see through him. He was much stronger than the Black Dragon Saint Envoy. "I was asked by Senior Feng Bei Han to look for you in the Pan family." Yi Xian did not waste time. He took out the floating image crystal and the Black Dragon Saint Envoy's corpse from his interspatial ring. When Pan Hong saw Feng Beihan's corpse, he was completely stunned. "Master is dead?" Senior Feng Bei Han was severely injured by the White Dragon Saint Envoy's twin sisters. In the end, his dragon heart was corroded by the purifying holy dragon light and he died. Yi Xian explained what had happened. "Bastard!" Pan Hong cursed angrily. His aura spread out and suppressed Yi Xian so much that he could not move. After a long while, he finally recovered. By then, he had finished looking at the floating image crystal. He turned to Yi Xian and asked, "My master asked me to make arrangements for you. However, your black dragon is only at the level of a perfected lord. How did it merge with 200 supreme-grade dragon scales?" "Yes." Yi Xian nodded. However, he did not summon the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon. He was afraid that it would attract the White Dragon Saint Envoy again. At that time, the Pan family would be doomed. Feng Beihan had also mentioned this in the floating image crystal. Therefore, Pan Hong did not ask further. He took out a Pearl of Annihilation and threw it to Yi Xian. This Pearl of Annihilation was the highest grade item in the Black Dragon sect. With it, the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon would no longer have to worry about its aura leaking out. After that, the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon was summoned by Yi Xian. Pan Hong sensed it. "This is unbelievable. I'm already a rank 9 true king, but I've only merged with 10 supreme-grade dragon scales." Pan Hong felt helpless. 10 supreme-grade dragon scales was the standard for a true emperor. Pan Hong was able to reach this level when he was only a rank 9 true king. Naturally, his aptitude was not to be underestimated. At first, he felt like he was invincible. However, after seeing Yi Xian's World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon, he only felt ashamed. In front of a monster like the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon, a genius with 10 scales was nothing. Chapter 1883. Master said that you should come with me to the Black Dragon Institute to cultivate. Meanwhile, Pan Hong spoke abruptly. "Black Dragon Institute? Where is that?" Yi Xian raised his eyebrows. This was the first time he had heard of this name. Feng Beihan had never told him about it before. The Black Dragon Institute is the place where the Black Dragon Institute nurtures geniuses. Only those who have been accepted can enter. Master originally wanted to personally bring me to the Black Dragon Institute when he came back. Pan Hong explained. This Black Dragon Institute is the place where the Black Dragon Institute nurtures geniuses. If I enter in my current condition, I will definitely be able to obtain a large amount of top-grade dragon scales and dragon bones. Yi Xian pondered for a moment before nodding his head. Pan Hong felt that this matter shouldn't be delayed any longer. Thus, after giving some instructions, he stepped into the transmission array. It turned out that this transmission array could send them directly to the Black Dragon Institute. Yi Xian had thought that he would be staying at the Pan family's residence. Never would he have thought that he would be teleported to one of the most heavily guarded places in the Black Dragon Institute. Before he could recover from his shock, the transmission array activated once more. This time, the destination was the Black Dragon Institute. Hua! Inside the Black Dragon sect, inside the Black Dragon Institute. The Holy Envoy has returned. Inside a transmission palace, a white-haired old man suddenly stood up and respectfully looked at the transmission array. This was the highest-grade transmission array that only the Black Dragon Holy Envoy, Feng Beihan, could use. However, the people who came out of the transmission array this time weren't the Black Dragon Holy Envoy, Feng Bei Han, but two young men. The old man paused for a moment and carefully sized them up. One was a 3rd-grade true monarch and the other was a 9th-grade true king. Who are the two of you? The old man looked at Pan Hong and Yi Xian who had just landed. Greetings to Elder Sun. Pan Hong respectfully cupped his fists and said, I am the 9th Holy Envoy, Feng Beihan's disciple, Pan Hong. This is my proof. Lord Holy Envoy's disciple? The old man called Elder Sun's eyes lit up as he received the proof. It was indeed Feng Beihan's doing. Good, come with me. Elder Sun nodded. Feng Beihan had already communicated with him and accepted a new disciple. However, he didn't know that the Black Dragon Holy Envoy had already fallen. This senior is called Elder Sun. He is in charge of receiving geniuses from Master's lineage. Along the way, Pan Hong sent a voice transmission to Yi Xian. This time, I'm the only one with the proof. Therefore, the one entering the Black Dragon Institute is me, and you may enter as my attendant. But I'll talk to Elder Sun and see if I can get you in as well. When Yi Xian heard this, he immediately nodded. Not long after, Elder Sun, who was walking in front, suddenly stopped in his tracks and looked at Yi Xian in shock. Elder Sun looked at Yi Xian in shock and asked, You have a black dragon that has fused 200 top-quality dragon scales? Yes. Yi Xian nodded. Elder Sun, he is a disciple that Master has just accepted. I hope Elder Sun can forgive him. Pan Hong hurriedly said. Elder Sun lightly nodded his head and said, If that is the case, then there is no problem. If the headmaster knows that such a genius has entered the school, he will definitely be very happy. It looked like Yi Xian was no longer a problem. However, his cultivation level was so low. If his aptitude was exposed, there might be many problems. For example, jealousy. Elder Sun's position was quite high, directly helping Yi Xian enter the Black Dragon Institute. After entering the Black Dragon Institute, you must learn to keep a low profile. After all, there are countless geniuses here, and any one of them is much stronger than you too. Although you're currently in the Outer Institute, you can't bully others just because you're Lord Holy Envoy. Elder Sun said to Yi Xian and Pan Hong. Yes, Elder Sun. Yi Xian and Pan Hong nodded in agreement. Indeed, this Black Dragon Institute was unfathomable. Even if it was just the Outer Institute, there were many true Emperor Realm experts. With their current strength, they were at the bottom of the barrel. Every year, you can receive cultivation resources from the Black Dragon Institute, and the amount is based on your aptitude. Elder Sun looked at Pan Hong, saying, You, a 9th-grade true king, have integrated with 10 top-grade dragon scales, 2 ranks higher than the standard. On top of that, you're Lord Holy Envoy's disciple, so anyone who enters under him can receive 3 times the cultivation resources. As for Yi Xian, your black dragon has integrated with 200 top-grade dragon scales, and you're only in the true monarch realm, 5 ranks higher than the standard. The amount of cultivation resources you'll receive will surpass Pan Hong. In truth, Yi Xian didn't have much need for cultivation resources. After all, his cultivation speed was limited. However, Luo Luo and Blackhorn could use them. With the help of the planting space, their cultivation would definitely soar. Elder Sun, then how do we distribute the top-grade dragon scales and dragon bones? Yi Xian asked. There's no rule to the distribution of these things. I estimate that you can receive a portion of dragon origin every year. Elder Sun replied, a portion of dragon origin consists of 10 top-grade dragon scales, 1 top-grade dragon bone, and a bottle of top-grade dragon blood. Fusing them together would result in better improvement than fusing them individually. However, dragon blood is relatively rare, so it has not been circulated. So that's how it is. Yi Xian nodded slightly. However, 1 portion of dragon origin every year was a little too little. Calculating it, it was only 30 top-grade dragon scales. It seems like he had to find another way. Elder Sun, then, can I get dragon origin from other places? Yi Xian asked. Yes, there are many places in the Black Dragon Institute where you can obtain dragon origin, such as the Black Dragon Tower. With your current true monarch realm cultivation, if you can pass the first floor, you can obtain 1 portion of dragon origin, 2 portions of dragon origin on the second floor, and so on. Elder Sun explained. However, The Black Dragon Tower changes according to each person's cultivation. In any case, the first floor is 1 realm higher than you, and the second floor is 2 realms higher. If you break through to the next realm, the Black Dragon Tower's floor will be refreshed. After listening to Elder Sun, Yi Xian felt a sense of déjà vu. So, it was similar to the Tower of Trials. He estimated that he could obtain a large amount of dragon origin here and increase his strength. Alright, for other matters, you can read the manual I gave you earlier. If you have any difficulties, you can come find me. With that said, Elder Sun left. Yi Xian and Pan Hong's living quarters had been allocated, so they decided to go back first to take a look. Yi Xian, Elder Sun doesn't know that Master has fallen, but Master had a life jade token in the Black Dragon Institute. With his death, the life jade token shattered. I'm guessing the Black Dragon Institute's higher-ups are furious.